you might need the Perfect Strangers theme song to get you going. I don't know if this was the day, at least not for those of us who enjoy a bit of an underdog story. Watching a program win a championship for a first time. It happened last night for Mississippi State for the first time in 134 years. Mississippi State, a team champion, and now it's just maybe this is for Kansas State and Virginia Tech out there. Last two Power Five programs without team national championships. That is. What do you guys think? I enjoyed the heck of last night's game, the heck out of it. One hit is what Vanderbilt ended up with. It was 9-0, so not a close game by any stretch of the imagination, but it turned into just a full Mississippi State celebration. And the College World Series, it was an interesting one this year for sure, and ends with Mississippi State on top for the first time in their history, Bill.
Yeah, flipped over a little bit, watched a little bit, but it was out of hand early. Mississippi State jumped on them, jumped all over them, and kind of took the fun out of it. For me, I ended up back on hockey for most of the night, which was actually a very, very entertaining game until one of the more amazing goals I've seen. I've watched a ton of hockey, so I didn't get much. I kind of admitted as much yesterday. I wasn't going to be totally invested in the College World Series. I did catch one part. They were coming out of a commercial break, and I thought it was interesting, just kind of where we are as really, we flipped the calendar to July 1, and this even goes to where we were last year. We went into 4th of July weekend or Independence Day weekend, I guess, and the announcer said, how great it was to see the ballpark. Was it TD Ameritrade, I believe, out there, absolutely slam packed full of people, and how even when regionals started, when the NCAA tournament started, they weren't sure this was something that they'd be able to do, just to have a full ballpark at capacity like that, and how great the environment was last night. They were kind of showing it in from the left field kind of view, I guess, and kind of scanning the ballpark, and it was really cool, as you mentioned, to see the celebration. I think, again, at that point, Mississippi State was already at 5-0 or 7-0, something like that. So I didn't watch much of that game because, the only suspense left was, could Mississippi State carry out the get the no-hitter there. But went over to hockey, but good for Mississippi State. Chris Lemonis, a very good coach, and something for them to celebrate now as we wrap up college sports for the 2021 academic year. Man, what just kind of timing, right? Like the final, I don't think there's any other collegiate sports that are to be played in July. I think we're completely done. There's no kind of individual championships or anything. And to wrap up last night and today, as we get going, a new era of college athletics and what they can do today with a name, image, likeness.
Yeah, it's already begun off and rolling. I saw the tweet yesterday from Carolina freshman quarterback Colton Gauthier. It's the first guy that I saw it, and it's now all over college athletics. It looks like pretty much a stock message they gave the student athletes to put out there and say the NCAA is now allowing us to make money off our name, image, and likeness partner with businesses, and feel free to hit me in my direct messages, I think is where that goes. Patrick, what do you make of last night, the championship for Mississippi State, and now the new era of college sports today with name, image, and likeness?
That's too much for me to answer in one question. I'll do the baseball because I actually watched the baseball game. And, I mean, I'm happy for Mississippi State, but that's not fun to watch for me when you don't have a dog in a fight. Like, I want a competitive championship game. It was cool to watch them partying, and I'm sure if you're a Mississippi State fan, whether you were in Omaha or at home, it was great. You can just keep one eye on the TV and just party, start the party early. But I was looking for some fireworks, and you kind of thought that Vanderbilt might be able to make it a game when it was still 5-0, but even though it didn't seem likely because they were pretty locked in. And once they had that big 4-run 7th inning, and I already forgot the pitcher's name for Mississippi State, they decided not to give him the ball and said, you're done. Just go ahead and and hang out, you knew the game was over. So I didn't watch the last 2 innings. I had to leave by the time the game ended anyway. But Mississippi State fans, I assume every fan base, if you asked in a championship game, do you want to just beat the brakes off of them from the first minute, or do you want to win it in dramatic fashion? I guess I would assume everyone wants to just blow them out, but I mean, the only 2 championships I remember were the Capitals and Nationals, and I mean, the Nationals won their World Series in the 9th inning in Game 7, and I would never want to trade that for anything because looking back, it was just so incredible. But Mississippi State fans are just going to look back at their national championship and say, yeah, this thing is. It was over before it even started. Whereas South Carolina fans can go back and say, oh, well, the Whit Merrifield walk-off, like most legendary moment in the program's history, there's not going to be one thing to point at for Mississippi State, but never really had to stress about it.
Yeah, Will Bednar is the pitcher's name who had thrown 40-some pitches, I think, through 2 innings last night and was a no-hitter going through 6 innings. Goes into the dugout, talks to the pitching coach and manager, and convinces them to let him go back out for the 7th inning, and then they score 4 runs. And a 5-0 game turns into a 9-0 game, and basically they're able to tell him, hey, man, it's not working. You've already thrown 90-plus pitches. You're not going to finish the game, so we're going to call it right here.
Well, the announcers were kind of critical of that.
Well, they were back and forth.
I thought they just kind of said, like, hey, let him go throw a couple pitches and then give him his moment so he can be sent off, because it was one of the great College World Series performances. Like, his entire run in Omaha has been incredible.
Sure, but I mean, there wasn't going to be a perfect way to end it.
Yeah.
There just wasn't.
You're saying, Tim, because he couldn't finish the game, that was just the point to get him out of there.
That 9-0 lead afforded them the easy decision to say, hey, man, we're going to leave you in here. We don't want to make any kind of move that will put you in jeopardy with an arm issue, and we're winning 9-0 now. It was really simple, as opposed to having to fight the guy, because he was all ready to go back out there. You can't blame him. No hitter going, national game, 6 innings in, and they ended up making it for 7 1/3. So Landon Sims comes in there, tremendous bullpen guy, gets 3 outs for the 7th inning, gets back out there, and only 1 out before the Vanderbilt shortstop pops one into center field and breaks up the no-hitter. But that was it, man. 1 hit for Vanderbilt last night. It was almost a bit of karma, if you like, coming back. Jim over in Carolina Beach, I don't know if I agree with this, but I understand where he's coming from. He says, I believe NC State would have given Mississippi State a much better game. NC State would have won, in my opinion. Football season's here now. Yeah, it's go Tigers, of course, like he always likes to do. I think we all would have preferred to see NC State. And you feel like when Kumar Rocker was getting knocked around a little bit, Vandy wasn't going to have a chance. And for whatever reason, they just didn't play that well. You guys see the stat? They ended up, I think, with 12 or 13 errors. I think they had 3 last night. 13 errors in the College World Series. Mississippi State had none. They hit less than 200. And yet the overwhelming dominance of their 2 starters, Leiter and Kumar Rocker, and the weird situation with NC State and the disqualification, got them right back to the chance to be the first back-to-back national champs since South Carolina did it. And obviously that did not happen last night. So the Gamecocks still the last back-to-back national champions on the baseball field. Mississippi State national champions for the first time ever. You mentioned Chris Lemonis, Bill, I think a little bit earlier, the Mississippi State coach, plenty of South Carolina ties down in the Low Country, coaching with Fred Jordan, the Citadel, I believe, for 12 years. Grew up and went to Socastee High School, I think. And listening to him afterwards, it was kind of the anti-Nick Saban I felt like I was hearing. First of all, he's winning it for the first time, right? So that's much different than Nick Saban these days. But just the appreciation expressed. He went and jumped on the dog pile, for instance. How about that? How did you see a college coach do that? He
ain't a small guy either.
No, he's not. He basically almost like threatened his players, like, yeah, I told him I was going to do it. Just his sincere gratitude and appreciation for the moment and enjoying the moment, man, is something that I can connect with. It's what I always just get really frustrated with in the Nick Saban post-game celebration, where maybe you'll see a few smiles and hugs, but feel like it's almost like that nose to the grindstone. The famous Urban Meyer story about Florida winning a national championship and him not even being able to enjoy it, going right back to his office and calling recruits, basically. I feel like this is kind of the anti-story of that. So from that perspective, I really enjoyed what I saw last night. But you're right, Patrick. A 9-0 game was a bit of a bummer, and not to see a lot of what we saw the entire College World Series outside of this national championship series, which was really good competitive games and lots of dramatic moments.
Yeah.
It kind of fizzled there toward the end, the College World Series, from the competitive standpoint.
No competitive, or at least the big three in this area, no competitive national championships this year. Baylor blew out Gonzaga.
Yeah, they did.
Alabama blew out Ohio State. Mississippi State blew out Vanderbilt. Bummer.
From the Gamecock perspective,
Lacrosse was a good one, though.
no,
Bummer.
It is a bummer, yeah.
now it's people want to watch close championship games.
Yeah, I mean, I stayed up till basically 2 a.m. to watch Alabama destroy Ohio State, and then we got the number 1 and number 2 seed in the country, and it wasn't even a close game of basketball. Greatest team of all time. They got destroyed.
No, but we were treated to what a phenomenal. I know what you're saying about the championship game, and I don't disagree. Yeah. I mean, that's when you don't have a dog in the fight. You're right. You always want a competitive game. So I totally understand. That's kind of where I'm at with the hockey. Like I'm just hoping it's competitive.
I like when there's a moment.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just the way you're like bummer. All right. I don't. The last. It is weird now as I realize this is that we finished up the college season on June 30th, and then today you start again kind of a whole new era of college athletics. But I guess, guys, as you look back now on what was obviously a very weird college sports year, beginning basically mid-September with ACC and some other college football games, and then extending through basketball, which Patrick, you and I both agreed that college basketball was tough to watch this year. Extremely tough to watch, and then through the baseball season, they get through it. And kudos to athletic departments, to players, to coaches for doing what they had to do. Whereas at this time last year, we weren't 100% what we would get with college athletics. I think it was still this time last year, college football season was still on the brink, and we weren't 100% sure that we would necessarily get a college football season. So, kudos to all those players, athletes, everybody involved to be able to make it work there as we wrap up.
No doubt about it. And Gamecock football news continues as well. Yesterday, it was a State of Texas wide receiver, Landon Sampson, joining the Gamecock class of 2022. South Lake Carroll, pretty famous high school football program there. Been a football factory. And now the Gamecocks go in there. Justin Stepp has some Texas connections, coaching at SMU back in his day, and then not being too far away from Arkansas, where he comes over from to get the Gamecock job, and now adds a wide receiver from South Lake Carroll and Landon Sampson. What do you make of that commitment yesterday, Bill?
I mean, Justin Stepp and Torian Gray are the two coaches here. I mean, along with Shane Beamer, but that had, and I guess you throw Greg Atkins in there as well, time at Georgia and Tennessee, but that had, SEC experience. You feel like they know exactly what they're looking for when it comes to matching up there with SEC competition, whether it's defensive backs going against wide receivers, or obviously for Justin Stepp, wide receivers going against defensive backs, and what he needs to continue to upgrade and build a wide receiver room. And certainly, I watched a little bit of this young man's film. He seems very positive. He seems faster. I don't know what his actual 40 time is, but some decent offers, Colorado, Nebraska among those. So we'll just have to
wait. Got offered by South Carolina 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And I'm reading right now the exact details. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I was going to say, you might be reading what I was about to say, is he met Justin Stepp when he was much, much younger. And then obviously his coach at South Lake Carroll, Riley Dodge, has become good friends with Justin Stepp. And this is just kind of one of the things where they really liked what they saw. They heard he's never been to South Carolina. And it took the virtual tour, I guess, earlier this week or last week. and will be in town, I believe, late July for the July 31st cookout at South Carolina. That'll be his first trip. So, yeah, again, a lot of connections there that make this work for South Carolina. We are 2 players from the state of Texas in one recruiting class. That's probably never happened before, I'm going to assume.
Right. And it shows what the prior relationships that this coaching staff has. Justin Stepp here, we were talking a lot about state of Pennsylvania offensive lineman Ryan Brubaker recently, and that was Pete Limbo's connections up in the Northeast in Pennsylvania and the whole thing. It's what you have to do when you come in as a new staff, for sure, especially after a couple of disappointing seasons on the field for South Carolina football. And will be really interesting to see how these guys end up panning out. The specific details of the story yesterday, Sampson relaying them as I'm reading Wes Mitchell's article on Gamecock Central, was that he called Justin Stepp, who was on vacation with his family, and they just talked for 15 minutes. Apparently, they talk every single day or have talked every single day. And then about 15 minutes in, Sampson, the player, says, Coach, I want you to lock me in. And then apparently there was a big silence on the other end for a little while. And Justin Stepp couldn't quite believe what he heard and said, "Are you kidding me? Are you sure?" And then the celebration was on. So a cool recounting of the verbal commitment from Texas wide receiver Landon Sampson. They're now the latest to be a Gamecock. We'll check the old recruiting rankings for you. We talked a lot about that yesterday. Rivals had the Gamecocks all the way up to number 1 in the country. That was with 11 commitments, and 2 of those being 4 stars. And basing those or comparing those to other programs in the country is something interesting to do this time of year. Not sure what kind of relevance it will end up being, but it definitely gives us something to talk about in June. Talking college football now, as we turn the page to July, will have a lot to do with the new name, image, and likeness that we're in on. One player doing it notably with a 5-figure deal already working. We'll give you those details and love to hear your opinions this morning. At 803-404-6100 is the number. You can call or text. We're up and rolling on the video live stream as well. A bunch of you weighing in this morning on YouTube and Facebook Live. DC, Anthony, Chris, Craig, Carlton, all up early with us. On Twitter as well, you can find the video live stream. Station handles at 1075 The Game. This is the early game.
Not a lot of people like Vanderbilt. I didn't realize they were so disliked.
You see the video of this fireworks truck in California?
No.
And where?
It's not I guess it's some sort of law enforcement, but they got a bunch of, I guess, illegal fireworks and tried to. I guess that when you seize fireworks, you like light them or detonate them in a controlled way or something. But I guess they use a bomb squad truck for a bunch of illegal fireworks and basically blew up a whole street corner. Like, completely blew up a truck, blew up several cars on the street next to them. Like, definitely damaged a house. It's a wild video.
Definitely damaged a house.
Yeah. Dude, look at the video. I think if you just typed in fireworks, the video would probably pop up.
I can see that. I can also see where just typing in fireworks is going to bring up multiple videos of people not handling fireworks well.
Well, this just was 5 hours ago. But that's the video.
Are you a fireworks guy?
No, I guess not. I wouldn't pay for them. I like fireworks. They're cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like we'll watch the fireworks on the lake, but I couldn't tell. I don't think I've ever paid for fireworks in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I won't do it. I would if I had more money, probably. But I mean, we did fireworks at our house growing up.
You had the
Sometimes.
lighter, you get out there in the street and do that and set them up and shoot them. That was when you say that.
Yeah, but you weren't allowed to have aerial fireworks, so we would get like the fountains. But we would drive to like you couldn't buy them in Maryland if you were a Maryland resident, so we had to drive to like the border of Pennsylvania to go to a Phantom fireworks store, and then we could bring them back.
I don't
So we
understand
definitely
those laws. I know what you're saying, but I just
I don't either. I can see the Fireflies fireworks from my house. We've watched those the past couple Saturdays, just like from my window right here.
really.
Nice. Yeah, you get
Quick show.
Murray deal. Easy.
Huh?
Bill, do you have a decent view of the Lake Murray fireworks?
Not from where I'm sitting. It's on the other side. So but there's a boat ramp over there. I mean, we've done this because my grandparents have lived there for 30 years. So we just walk over there with lawn chairs like everybody does. Like, honestly, everybody will go put lawn chairs over there at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon to start securing their spots.
Right.
And,
Yeah, I don't like fireworks that much.
Huh?
I don't like fireworks that much.
Well, no, it's just the neighborhood. People just go over there and like start putting.
No, but that's like a big thing. I mean, definitely in New York and like DC on the National Mall, those fireworks are really big, and people will get out there in the morning, set up their coolers and chairs so they have a good spot for when the National Mall fireworks.
You should see what it looks like. The boats that'll gather out there
Yeah.
in between where I'm at and Baum Island to like watch the fireworks, and then when they're done, all the boats trying to head back to
Yeah.
get out of the water or head back to their own dock or whatever. Man, that's crazy. Like I would never go out on a boat.
Oh, we've done that at Lake Anna. We've been there for 4th of July a couple times, and yeah, it's a whole day. I mean, we just tie up 2 or 3 boats, and you're out there for 3 or 4 hours before the fireworks start.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably go out some during the day, but about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'll be off the lake.
Is the weather going to be good on Saturday? I thought there was a chance that it was going to rain.
I think there's a slight chance. I think the rain is tomorrow. I thought it might have been today.
90% chance tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, tomorrow. And it's like 73 tomorrow. It's like not cold.
Oh, never mind. Sounded like one of our openers. It was actually a Taco Bell commercial.
Well,
Gotcha.
Sounds all right.
Dude, the Nats have closed a 7-game. This month, they've closed like 7 games in the NL East. Trae Young is now hit for the cycle as many times as any player in MLB history.
Trey Turner.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. Trae Young doing it would be really impressive, but Trey Turner doing it is still very impressive.
Especially coming off the foot injury.
Yeah,
It's hard to round second with a sprained ankle.
it's true.
On his birthday.
Yeah, that's silly, man. I had to explain to my kids what hitting for the cycle was. They know a lot about no hitters. They hadn't even heard of hitting for the cycle.
How many home runs before that's cooler than hitting for the cycle?
Right.
3? A 3 home run game?
I don't think anything's cooler than hitting for the cycle, but yeah, I would say 3. 4, no doubt. 3 is pretty good.
Yeah, 4 is unreal. He's so fast. You have to be fast, I guess. There's not a lot of sluggers hitting for the cycle.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, good. There's another tropical storm out there, Elsa.
Yeah, we're already at. Bill was just like last week, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Or 2 weeks ago, maybe.
I think you're right.
Mississippi State is the champion of the college baseball world, celebrating first team national championship in their 134 years of having sports. Gamecock football adds another commitment yesterday. Texas wide receiver Landon Sampson moves the Gamecocks up one spot. I'm reading now. Now, Rivals is just doing this basically for our show. Okay, you go to rivals.com right now and check out the team college football recruiting rankings. The Gamecocks moved up one spot from 21 to 20 after their 12th commitment of the class of 2022. And guess who moved down from 19th to 21st today?
You're gonna say
I gotta guess.
So Carolina is one spot in front of Clemson right now in today's Rivals.com class of 2022.
Tough time to be a Clemson fan. Plus, now that we got this kid, we're gonna get Quinn Ewers too.
That is
He's gonna flip him.
I believe.
I was expecting and hoping that I would open the text line and some people would say like, "Ask Bill if we have a chance of flipping Quinn Ewers now."
Quinn Ewers, yeah. Bring his buddy along. Who knows? Maybe a last second flip. Who knows? I'll let you be the one that instigates the Clemson fans this morning. I did that yesterday, and it worked. They had a good Wednesday because of me.
Michael asks, morning guys, is the in-state talent not interested in South Carolina or just not been offered? Interesting take this morning. It's just one South Carolina guy in that group of 12 now of class of 2022 commits, and Kyla Corton, the Clarendon Hall athlete, plays quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back, plays everything for that 8-man program.
I mean, it's a combination of it's not a combination of not being offered. Let's say that, but let's start with what it looks like here is you're going to have the top player in the state, which is Jaden Lucas, will choose between North Carolina. I think it's basically going to come down to North Carolina or Clemson. And that's a guy that South Carolina did offer. As a matter of fact, Torian Gray actually offered him first before anybody else when he was at Florida. And so there was some hope that maybe that relationship, just the connection there with Gray from his time at Florida would help South Carolina. It hasn't. He'll end up choosing between North Carolina or Clemson. Jalen Sneed, the number 2 player in the country, is a guy that just apparently wants to go out of state. Not even giving Clemson a look. He's the number 70 national prospect. Appears to just be going out of state. Jaleel Skinner is a guy that I don't think really South Carolina or Clemson pursued that heavily. I think Clemson didn't seem to really chase him. He's from up there in Greer. South Carolina focused more of their efforts on other tight ends. So I don't think Jaleel Skinner falls into the camp of that was a guy that South Carolina or Clemson wanted to go after. I think if Clemson had wanted him, then he'd probably already be a Clemson Tiger, but it looks like he may head to Florida State. Adam Randall's number 4 in the state, top wide receiver. He is slated to go to Clemson. Then you got Antonio Williams, who right now South Carolina feels like they're in good shape for. He's from right here in Dutch Fork. They've offered him. Colin Sadler, the top offensive lineman in the state from Greenville, has already picked Clemson. And then you kind of go down the list a little bit, and South Carolina's offered some of these guys. I don't know how heavily they pursued them. Drew Bobo probably was not going to South Carolina or Clemson to begin with. So, I think so you go through again. I'll just say this: you go through the list. Zan Dunham, a quarterback, but South Carolina's recruiting him as a linebacker from Chester. Kyla Corton is the one guy you mentioned committed to South Carolina. DeQuandre Smith is a guy that they've offered as a defensive back. He's a quarterback over here at Spring Valley, I believe. Don't hold it to us. I'll have to look this up just to confirm, but I believe the young man from Irmo is supposed to go public today. Nick Imoriwa. Did we ever figure out how to say his name, or is that just a me thing? Okay.
That's
all
just
right. I believe he is supposed to make an announcement today at some point. I believe he said his commitment date is July 1. He's from Irmo. A lot of people think he'll choose South Carolina. It sounds like South Carolina or North Carolina for him. So there are some players in the state. I don't think South Carolina has done quite as well as maybe they would hope. But it's the next recruiting class. I think that they're hoping to have more of the relationships with, and we'll see how that pans out.
And you mentioned Florida State in there as an offer for one of those kids. How about this? I didn't see this coming, especially on the first day. And the whole way this has gone down with the NCAA just coming out yesterday and basically saying that, yep, everybody in the country now, you're good to cash in on name, image, and likeness after states. I mean, I can't believe that politicians ended up pushing this through. State laws were made for college athletes to cash in on name, image, and likeness. The NCAA still hadn't figured it out how to make this an across-the-board deal, and we're just starting. It happens today, and I didn't see it starting quite like this. Florida State quarterback now, former UCF quarterback Mackenzie Milton, and Miami quarterback D'Eriq King have started a business together. They have partnered already to get this thing going, and this combines all of our worlds, I think, Patrick and Bill, because we've been talking about the old trying to figure out, I had my buddy Jason Harrell on, what was the NBA Top Shot to begin with, right? It blew my mind, making a comparison from basketball or baseball cards to these non-fungible token things on the basically just internet-based, and they're supposed to be like cards, and yet they actually aren't cards. They're just digital images or videos or the whole thing. Well, that's what this business that Milton and D'Eriq King are going to kind of focus on. There's already one of these, the very first one, I guess, in history of Mackenzie Milton basically kind of transforming from his UCF gold to more of the maroon and gold of Florida State. And there is no logo on there. These guys can't cash in on the school's logo or anything, but you obviously just go around it a little bit here, right? You use the school colors, and that's what we're doing. Well, what do you, Patrick, let's start with you. You're 25 years old. I think you got a better handle on all this than an old dude like me.
Well, when you mentioned a quarterback, I thought you were talking about the new face of Milo's Tea. Did you see this? Bo Nix.
Bo Nix is the new face of Milo's Tea, huh?
He put a picture on his Instagram holding up a little Milo's tea bottle yesterday. I was like, great. Who wants to be attached to this bum? But good for them, I guess. Like, I don't understand that. The NFT bubble I thought that thing was over. I thought, from everything I've heard, my Anthony Davis card's not worth anything. I can't sell it for $20 at this point. So, I mean, I guess it's the easiest thing you can do. It doesn't cost them anything, and it's just pure profit. And I think if it ever gets resold and sold again, they always get a royalty from it. So, good for them. But yeah, I was more interested in like the traditional, like I'm getting sponsored by this, and you saw all the same messages all over the place. I think the same. I don't know if it was word for word. I didn't match them up, but I think I saw Jake Bentley put out almost the exact same thing that Colton Gauthier put out. So, I mean, we're probably about to see a ton of sponsored content all over social media, and we're talking about football. But I think the ones that are really going to cash out here for a South Carolina perspective, we talked about it a couple months ago when somebody did a little, like, I don't know if it was Forbes or Sports Business Journal or something like that, did a examination on the most followed athletes in college sports. But Zia Cook has over 100,000 Instagram followers. Bria Beal has over 70,000, and Aaliyah Boston has almost 40,000. So I can go through the more popular football and basketball players, but I think those three girls are set to, if they want to, have more sponsorship deals than any of the football players.
All right.
At least on social media.
How much time do we have? Because there was a tweet last night, and this got me to the name, image,
2 hours, 20 minutes
deal. Patrick, you're the youngest of us, unless Tim is about to absolutely blow my mind with knowledge here on the social media platforms, given that we finally just got him to put a voice to his voicemail on his cell phone. I'm going to be shocked if he knows this. Is Instagram the biggest platform? Is it Instagram? Is Instagram the platform that you need to have the followers on?
Yeah, I mean, Twitter I think might be a bigger platform, but I think follower numbers might be bigger on I think follower numbers are generally bigger on Instagram. Maybe that's not true. I think Twitter's bigger though. But I see more stuff sold on Instagram, like more sponsored stuff on Instagram than
Agreed.
Twitter.
I guess my point on this is like, is Instagram, because you can do a little bit more on there. You can of the videos and the stories and stuff. I know you can do that on Facebook as well, and I guess you can do that on Twitter. But the reason I bring this up is because you talk about like the Instagram models that have like come out of nowhere and draw the millions upon millions of followers. And I feel like that's going to cater. Ross Dellinger put out a tweet last night. I have to go back and see the exact girl's name, but he said that according to a few studies that they have out there, her first name is Olivia. She is expected to be the highest earner. She has 1.1 million followers. She's a gymnast for LSU. Olivia Duran, I believe, is her name. And basically, it's because she's a good-looking girl on Instagram who, for lack of a better word, put some provocative stuff on there to go along with some regular stuff. And that's what's drawn the attention of all these people who are out there that following her on Instagram. And you mentioned that, I don't know what, Zaya Cook, the Instagram thing is the one area that I've never gotten into. It was actually Darren Ravel and that put it out late last night. I guess they were going back and forth because I see a Darren Ravel tweet and a Ross Dellinger tweet. Olivia Dunn, who has 1.1 million Instagram followers, expected to earn more compensation than any other college athlete. Those within the industry say, put that out about 11 hours ago. Absolutely crazy that's where it could actually end up being, is these young women who are putting stuff on Instagram, and they may be the ones that are most in line to make money if a business is smart about it. Now, if Milo's Tea wants to endorse Bo Nix, that's great. I don't know what he would make. I have no idea.
This is not hypothetical, man.
He is making,
This is a thing. This is reality as we sit here today. And we've talked about the possibility of it happening for years and certainly in the last months, and now it's reality today.
How quickly was Bo's deal put together, by the way? That's shady. Like, I remember Derek Brown last year was signed with an agency in the tunnel. Like, he was taking a picture of Drew Rosenhaus in the tunnel after their bowl game. I was like, yeah, I'm sure that was just put together in the last couple hours. Bo Nix has already got his advertising campaign ready with Milo's. Shady stuff going on in Auburn.
Take it for what it's worth. This is from Darren Ravel. I don't know what everybody thinks of Darren Ravel, but actionnetwork.com, I guess who he's working for now, whatever. He's got an article up. Put it up yesterday. The top 20 college athletes who are favorites to capitalize on name, image, likeness. Number one is a football player, a quarterback. Do you want to guess who he has as the number one player slated to capitalize on? Mm-hmm.
Well done, Patrick. Well done.
This is the breakdown. He's got 377,000 followers on Instagram, 62,700 followers. I believe that's 62. Yeah, 62,700 followers on. Maybe that's 62 million. I have to go back and look at Twitter. 60.
Let's go with 1,000.
Okay, 62. So anyway, number two is Olivia Dunn, 3.9 million followers on TikTok. Boys gotten on TikTok yet? You ticking the top?
No,
I was 43-year-old man. How dare you ask me if I'm on TikTok?
The whole Kansas State football team's on TikTok. I almost threw up at the video I saw yesterday.
But those are recruits, aren't they?
I don't know.
What's really bad about TikTok, though, is that it is probably the biggest rabbit hole that you can go down and just the biggest time suck. Because my son will start showing me things. And there's some hysterical stuff on there, and I'm like, dude, you've got to do something besides this.
It's developed to be exactly that. Like, their algorithm is what I've heard about, where it's like you watch one video, like one cooking video or whatever, it's gonna send you 20 more immediately, just like it, and you're never gonna be able to leave. But I know the other thing, the follower numbers are like insane on TikTok. Apparently, like you can rack up millions of followers much easier than you can on Twitter or Instagram. Apparently, so
yeah.
And this is where we start. Bill, I know you got more. You got a list of 20.
I asked for how much time we got, and I got two smart answers. Nobody told me how much time we got. Oh, we get till 9.
Whoa.
Oh, I feel like
that's relative.
A little while here.
We got 2 more hours in the show, but only.
We're not going to let you talk in the next segments? It was just this segment for you, and that's it?
That was the point. You guys knew what I was asking. How much time we got in this segment? You guys knew that, and then I got two Weisenheimer answers instead of, we got about
Well,
3 minutes. Give us the top.
We have the whole
three.
show planned out. Next segment, we're not talking about this anymore. So
Right. That's how we do it.
That's how we roll.
We'll put Bill in timeout here for a few minutes. And
Number
we'll
3
be
is
back.
Sharif O'Neal. Sharif O'Neal is number 3, LSU basketball
He
player.
doesn't need anything.
Killing him.
Shaq's gonna hand down his
Right.
icy hots.
Yeah, Shaq's son is the one who needs all the money from name, image, and likeness. That makes a lot
Shaq
of
owns
sense.
like 100 like car
Papa
dealerships and Auntie Anne's pretzel shops. They'll just sponsor him with those.
803-404-6100 if you'd like to weigh in. I'm glad to see our favorite 86-year-old callers up early with us, and we'll hear from Bulldog Larry coming up next as well. It's the early game here on 107.5 The Game.
Your 24/7 sports station. I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty good. 107.5 The Game.
Yeah, you saw that. You saw that's how I get treated around here. Ask me a question. How much time we got left? And the answer is still 9 o'clock. Next thing you know, they cut me off. That's why I need a great night of sleep. I have to wake up rested, refreshed, ready to deal with Tim, Jen, and Patrick each and every morning. Because as you just saw, it's unfair the way I'm held down, whether it's the NASCAR picks or trying to put points out about name, image, likeness. A great night of sleep not only helps you wake up rested, refreshed, and ready to go, but it actually puts you in a positive mental state. So make sure you get a great night of sleep. Make the switch to Sleep Number today. Discover proven quality sleep during the lowest prices of the season. All Sleep Number 360 smart beds are on sale starting at $899 plus free premium delivery and setup when you add a base, but you got to make the switch to Sleep Number today. This deal ends on Monday, so go ahead and visit a store nearest you. 2 to choose from, one in Irma on Harbison Boulevard across from Buffalo Wild Wings, the other in Columbia, 2 Notch Road across from Sand Hills Mall. SleepNumber.com, also a place you can visit. Remember, this is all subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See SleepNumber.com for details. Again, right now, lowest prices of the season. All Sleep Number 360 smart beds are on sale starting at $899 plus free premium delivery and setup and special financing, but it ends Monday. Make the switch to Sleep Number today to find out what a great night of sleep is truly like.
It's glass, a true reflection of quality.
Michael, what were the other options you had in your life instead of watching a TikTok of a guy putting a rubber band on a watermelon for an hour?
Yeah.
Were you at the office? Please tell me you were at your office and you just didn't feel like working because it's the 4th of July week and you're like me, you'd given up on the rest of the week. It was the end of the month.
I don't know if it's the same video, and I haven't seen it on TikTok, but it's definitely it's going viral on Twitter multiple times of a dude just wearing goggles with a giant watermelon, and he's got like 100 rubber bands on there, and he just keeps putting one more on and backing away, one more on, one more, and then ultimately it explodes. It's very funny.
Wow.
That's what drives me crazy about that stuff because it's a time suck and
You can tell work production is dropping significantly. The number of boats out there, people fishing at 6:49 is already substantially higher than most mornings. I can see people are just pretty much cutting out for the week.
This guy said, and again, her name was.
Yeah, I saw that creepy text.
Oh, this last texter says college sports are ruined, and he for sure did not go to college. 2020 what was this? Lee Franklin. 2020 has been pandemic. Be patient.
Be patient. Yeah.
Be patient, Gamecocks.
I think Patrick, I think you're right. Today's going to be pretty. Tomorrow's going to be awful, and then Saturday's going to be nice.
I'm already shifting my schedule around. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to mow today. Hey, Bill, after the show, if you're not busy, you don't live far away. You can swing on by. I need it edged too.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Yeah, I didn't think you knew any of those words.
Did you say edge?
Yeah, you gotta edge the yard.
When I had a house that had a yard that didn't have a ground screw, you're right. I edged my driveway. Now I don't do that.
Yeah, no, like seriously, and I've had a lawn service that I had to fuss at. I mean, a couple of years ago, I still do it on my own because like they don't do it right. But like they were edging just along concrete. It's like, you have to edge the beds too.
That's right.
You know that. It just makes me nuts.
Michael, if it was 10 p.m. at night, go to bed. I don't even know what the final of the hockey game was last night because it got to be 3-1. It was 3-1. So nobody scored.
No home ice advantage coming in Montreal either. Yeah, I think I'm going to Tampa next weekend also, and I was hoping the series would still be going on, and it will not be.
There's a lot going in that. Is that Rude Hog? Is that Chris?
I don't know.
All right, head back in.
We'll do Gamecock Larry pretty quick here, Jim.
10-4.
The halftime show, your place to win Elton John tickets. He's coming to Charlotte, Bank of America Stadium, September of 2022. And this week, giving you a chance to win tickets to Elton John in Charlotte. The Farewell Yellow Brick Road Tour going down, and the opportunity to win those tickets continues on the halftime show. Listen this afternoon to Jay, Tommy, and Pierce. Wonderful. You're big into the Elton John Farewell Yellow Brick Road Tour, September 2022.
Everyone is.
You're a big Elton John fan at age
Love
20,
Elton John.
25? Okay.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Maybe he's like the Led Zeppelin of when I was 25. Maybe not quite. 803-404-6100, the number into the program. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines for the first time this morning. Bulldog Larry's been waiting very patiently to get in on the program after last night's Mississippi State Championship. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning. No more Bulldogs from now on. I'm going to be a Gamecock. Well, I've been a Gamecock, but I had to pull for the Bulldogs last night and see what happened. The Bluebeards of the Southeastern Conference, they cannot beat the Bulldogs in old Gamecock Larry. I knew. Did you see what happened? Bluebeards. I hate to see the Graybeards. But I'll tell you what, from now on this Gamecocks, look at Clemson, we on the way. We coming after you, Tiger, Clemson Son, and all you, Legion of Doom, and everybody. I feel good. I'm on the way to the doctor, but that's all right. I'm better already. Go Gamecocks. Thank you, Bulldogs. Corbin. Tanner. Yes, sir. Go Gamecocks.
That was
I want what
amazing.
he's having.
He definitely said Bluebeards.
Right. And
What does it mean?
Graybeards. And I didn't. I thought it was blue birds. Right.
Or
He can say what he wants, but I want whatever he's
That was amazing.
taking this morning. I want that energy.
Peppy for 6:54 in the morning.
Anthony says, man, I needed that today.
Seriously.
It's not just today. Last night he hit us up on
Let me ask this: just to confirm, nobody saw Gamecock Larry on the scooter last night in Omaha celebrating with Mississippi State, right? He hadn't been up celebrating for
I don't know.
8 hours consecutively, and just
They got doctors in Nebraska too. Whew.
He didn't confirm that he was in South Carolina.
Didn't say he was seeing Dr. Bulldog today at the VA hospital. Twin Peaks Hot Take Hotline. Gamecock Larry was on that last night after it was over. 803-978-6654. If you ever need to hit the Hot Take Hotline, by the way, sponsored by Twin Peaks, go see him down in the Vista for men who never settle.
45.
Like Gamecock Larry, who is now back to being.
Tanner.
That was amazing. Oh, glad for Gamecock Larry. I think he's summing up Mississippi State celebration right there. It seemed absolutely nuts last night because they never got to do it before. It's the first time. Good for them. 134 years of playing team sports and the first championship for Mississippi State last night, leaving only Kansas State and Virginia Tech
15.
in the Power Five with no team national championships. All South Carolina fans from 11 years ago, I think, can relate and maybe enjoy it vicariously with Mississippi State. Hour 2 coming up.
This is Todd Ellis, and you're listening to the home of the Gamecocks.
That's pretty funny, Craig. Really funny. Jack was pumped.
You're still trying to put out fires in there.
All right, do you want to go up here, Bill?
Yep, I'll pop off. Tim, we're gonna pop off for a minute to cut this little commercial here.
Okay.
So what I want to get to in hour number 2 is, how do you feel about your college player partnering with somebody else from another school?
I don't even understand what does it mean they partnered?
They're both in on this Dreamfield company.
It's their company?
Yep. Let's see. They signed on as co-founders. They'll be the public faces of Dreamfield and recruit other athletes to use the platform. I guess a kid that went to UCF has started this company and basically got them to come in with them. I saw $20,000 being floated somewhere to what King was making.
Is Mackenzie Milton definitely the starter? Is that even?
I don't think so. All right, reading more on the new guide, the name, image, and likeness.
I'm so fascinated to know how much Bo Nix gets from Milo's tea. I googled Bluebeard and I couldn't guess.
When Gamecock Larry leaves you going to Google.
There's a French folktale. The first thing that comes up is a French folktale, and it says the notoriety of the tale is such that Merriam-Webster gives the word Bluebeard the definition of a man who marries and kills one wife after another.
I don't think that was it. I don't think that's a popular folktale in Four Hole Swamp.
I don't think so. I don't.
Yeah, I think Dirk's right.
Do you think though? Because I think he knows. I think he knows that, and he did it 2 days in a row.
But that would explain the evolution between Bluebird to Bluebeard.
I thought he said beard yesterday too, though. I thought we just it wasn't as clear.
Thank you, Dirk, for translating. That's one of those things where typically I would, if it was anybody else, I would try to get some clarification.
Yeah.
Because he's Gamecock Larry, we just let the legend grow.
But then he also said graybeard.
Right.
People don't call him, if you're either a blue blood or a gray blood.
Oh, gray bloods.
Yeah. Who are the gray bloods of college football? Kansas State.
Unbelievable, man. Can't make it up.
Neither of those teams are particularly good in any sport right now either.
K-State or Virginia Tech, you know.
I would assume Virginia Tech will win their first national championship first, but
In what?
I don't know. I guess team sports, like I don't. Maybe one of them are good at soccer or something. Are either of them good at baseball at all?
Yeah, Virginia Tech's been pretty good lately. Kansas State came through Columbia a couple of years, I think, non-conference games, but nothing special.
Maybe. I mean, basketball is probably the most likely just because they can make a nice little run randomly.
Right. I'd love to see Mike Young win a national championship at Virginia Tech. That'd be awesome. But, I mean, likely, no. And if Bill Snyder couldn't do it in football, good luck.
They'll never win a national championship in football.
You get some sleep yesterday, finally?
Yeah, there was nothing to wake up for.
Definitely seem a little re-energized.
Yeah, there's only one more. Well, I guess 2 more nights, 1 more day. And it's a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be off on Monday, by the way, guys. And then our afternoon guys are off tomorrow and Monday.
All of them?
Bunch of slackers, yeah.
What? Like they're taking off, or there's just
Yeah. So typically we do some fill-in stuff, but
there's 2 shows to fill, 3 shows to fill.
what's that?
But there would be 3 shows to fill.
Right. And they start at 6:05, so just run that tomorrow. What do you think? You think it was blue blood that Gamecock Larry was talking about?
I think he was very clear today. He said blue beard, then he said gray beard. So I mean, he bounced back and forth. He was going beard. Yesterday, I thought it might have been blue blood, but today he was very clear. And then he threw in a gray beard. I've never heard of a gray blood unless that's some kind of what's that movie series, Underworld?
Yeah, what about it?
I think unless it's some kind of villain in Underworld or whatever. He's been up all night watching the Underworld series. Is it Underworld? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's a movie series. I forget. It's got a.
Pretty sure it's Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, yeah, Kate Beckinsale.
I think she's the.
You're right.
We're in the intro.
Yeah, but we're talking about Underworld. We don't have time for the intro.
Guys are up.
A day of celebration, actually. It might be still continuing for Mississippi State from last night. College World Series championship. First team national championship in school history. Kansas State, Virginia Tech, the only other Power 5 programs without a national championship. Anonymous Texter just hits us up with congratulations, State. Glad to see the Vandy Whistler go home as miserable as he's made everyone else. And I think that's part of the Vandy dislike you're seeing on social media, Bill, out there. Just it's amazing the impact of one person. One person. Yeah, you're right. They got the 2 Whistlers. You're correct.
Did you hear him last night?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. I guess. I don't know. I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention.
Well, again,
was it towards the end of the game when the Mississippi State fans who were having a really good time started chanting, "Let's go Whistler"?
I didn't hear the chant.
I did flip over and catch that, and yeah.
They were doing whatever they wanted to at that point. It was just a celebration that went from it was really intriguing from a baseball strategy standpoint for me to see a guy who's going off 3 days rest, and Will Bednar, the Mississippi State starter, goes 6 no-hit innings, throw 90-plus pitches, and Mississippi State up 5-0 at that point, and then they added 4 runs and went up 9-0. And I think at 5-0 they were going to let him go back out, and then it became 9-0, and they said, "Hey man, we don't need you to go back out. Let's not do that. We don't want you to hurt your arm. Make sure that your professional career prospects stay in line and the whole thing." And I think at that point he kind of give it up, and Landon Sims came in, got 4 more outs before Vandy got their only hit of the night last night. So it was 7 1/3 of no-hit baseball. And Mississippi State wins its first national championship, one hitting the defending national champs and completely smashing them, 22-2 combined in the last 2 games. It was 13-2 in game number 2 of the series and 9-0 last night. And the RL starts us in hour number 3, Bill. It's just saying, reviewing what the Gamecocks have 4 NCAA team titles. Women's track back in 2002, 2010 and 11 back-to-back national champs, and they still remain the last back-to-back champs after Vandy lost last night. And then women's basketball in 2017. RL says, "I will never forget the feeling of winning that 2010 title." And that's what I was kind of reliving vicariously through Mississippi State last night, watching that scene at Omaha and remembering how it was at Rosenblatt when I was there 11 years ago now.
I meant to bring this up the other day as the series started. These 2 teams met during the regular season in Nashville. It was April 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Vanderbilt won 2 of 3 at home, 6-2, lost the middle game 7-4, and bounced back and won the third game 7-4. So I think Mississippi State will be more than glad to trade the regular season series loss for the College World Series season win. And you're right, Tim. I think you asked a great question. So, and Patrick made a great point about his nationals and the walk-off win versus getting up big early and being able to basically celebrate for 9 innings and kind of it be a big party celebration, and now we're having to sweat it out and feel that it could be potential disappointment. Yeah, I would assume if you're a Mississippi State fan last night, that was the way you wanted to do it. Don't even put the game in jeopardy. Just get up and be able to celebrate for 9 innings. Maybe go ahead and start planning the post-game celebration around inning 4 or 5 and feel really comfortable with the way your pitcher was dominating, with the way your team was playing, and the first team championship that your school was about to win.
And again, if you really want to nerd it up between Mississippi State and Vandy, I think they put up the stat last night that they played each other 6 times. I guess that was what you mentioned, the 3 in the regular season, then 3 at the College World Series, and Mississippi State scored in the first inning in all 6 games against Vanderbilt. Pretty impressive stuff. And one of the reasons why they are national champs today, it's hard to believe they had, 4 big leaguers. I think their 30 for 30 came on immediately after last night's game. Jeff Brantley and Bobby Thigpen joining Rafael Palmeiro and Will Clark back in the day, and that team did not win the national championship. But for last night, just their first 2 batters, Riley Jordan and Tanner Allen, the SEC Player of the Year, so impressive. And then the pitching staff and Will Bednar, and on the back end, Landon Sims, all those guys, really impressive and deserving, I think, and how their coach, Mississippi State, Chris Lemonis, who has plenty of South Carolina ties, being an assistant at the Citadel for 12 years, going to Cocastee High School, and his career. I just retweeted something. This is one of the best things I've ever heard. Lemonis came from Indiana to Mississippi State, and the story goes, this is from Zach Osterman. Once during his first season in Indiana, Lemonis realized his equipment guy made a 10-hour drive by himself for a weekend series. So when the series ended, he put his team on a plane and then hopped in that equipment truck and rode shotgun back to Bloomington. That's what you're looking for a baseball coach, man, from anybody. And you can just, I feel like that's maybe the only intrigue left when we hear from these on-field interviews a lot of times, is that the feel you get from them. It's not what coaches say, because they very rarely ever say anything, especially during a game or whatever. But I feel like you get a sense of, I don't know, just what kind of person they are in a lot of ways. And after the game last night, Lemonis saying that he told his guys he was going to jump on the dog pile. And I got the sense that he truly appreciated that team accomplished. And it wasn't about him, And it wasn't even necessarily just about the players. It was about what it meant an entire state. And having seen that from the South Carolina perspective 11 years ago, I felt a connection to that last night and a special appreciation. And that's why I put out the tweet. Things will never be the same in Starkville. I feel like they've never been the same in Columbia since 2010 and that Whit Merrifield walk-off hit in the national championship in a lot of ways. You know, some of that good, some of that not so good. We were talking about the baseball program and the expectations now and the whole thing. Mississippi State will never be that program with a chip on its shoulder having not won a championship. It won't happen. Dak Prescott, I mean, you can see it from his viewpoint and his emotion feeling a part of that championship. It changes a program. And we've seen it here in Columbia, and now it's happening for Mississippi State. I think most everyone polling for them, especially knowing that weird Vandy NC State situation. Anonymous texter just mentions on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line that NC State would have beaten Vandy, and Vandy shouldn't have been there from the start. Felt like there was a little karma involved, a lot like the John Rahm karma the other way at the U.S. Open. Felt like that, I don't know, caught up to Vandy or was involved in some sort of way. Maybe it was just Mississippi State was that much better at baseball, but I have to think the way that Vandy kicked it around in the series, ended up, I think, with 13 errors and hit less than 200 as a team. Kind of crazy that they even got to that championship series. But I think most of the college baseball world feeling pretty good this morning about Mississippi State taking home the championship. And we're talking about college sports in general, and it's a new era, Bill. I think maybe you just defaulted to that hypothetical when Patrick was pointing out the Bo Nix and who is Bo Nix now a spokesman for, Patrick?
Milo's too.
You're saying if he was the spokesman or if they went that way? No, that's happened. There's a picture out there, and there are a couple of college quarterbacks who have now partnered together as co-founders of a company. Florida State's Mackenzie Milton and Miami's De'Aaron King. Moving forward, starting today, college athletes can earn money with name, image, and likeness. It is a new era. We will discuss that. The latest Gamecock football commit to make his commitment. Actually, this one was not an earlier commit, right? This wasn't a secret welcome home from days before. As the story goes that I was reading on Gamecock Central, he called Justin Stepp, the wide receiver coach from the Gamecocks, and made his commitment yesterday. Hasn't even been to Columbia. Hasn't even visited the University of South Carolina, and yet has now committed to the program. The 12th commitment that has the Gamecocks up to number 20 in the country in the Rivals ranking for the class of 2022. And right behind South Carolina in the national rankings is Clemson at number 21. An interesting way to start the first day of July. Glad you're with us here. You're listening to the early game. It's 107.5 The Game.
Patrick, what was Johnny's guy in Entourage?
Drama?
Johnny Drama, thank you.
Why?
I was going to post a gift.
Of him?
Yeah, just relating to because like you said, Justin Stepp, I saw him put out a tweet yesterday about how he was walking. I guess he must have had the phone conversation while he was walking the beach. I guess that's what he just did, is he went out and, like I said, he had to, and then all of a sudden he said he was walking down the beach. I think he put out his own gif of like dancing up and down the beach.
So you're going to do the victory?
Yeah, I was going to put that one out.
That's the name of his podcast.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And who is he brothers with? He's
Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon. That's what I thought.
Oh yeah, I see where Quinn Ewers, Justin Stepp did retweet. We could go on some conspiracy theories. Oh, Quinn Ewers did retweet
Congratulations,
Sampson last night. Say congratulations, brother. I think that means they're actually related and they want to play together in college.
Meaning a whole new
He doesn't really want to go play in the cold.
Yeah, he doesn't want to play. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a picture. Was it Connor Shaw? That's it. Me walking down the beach right now.
Wow.
Wow.
Richard
Yeah.
is quite the character.
Very dark.
Oh no.
So I gotta see this picture on Twitter.
It's on, yeah. If you just type in Bo Nix, it'll pop up.
All right. I do feel like we should ask Richard, which of his potential questions does he feel more confident in? Polinsky throws 20 touchdowns this year for Northwestern, or Bo Nix as potential SEC Player of the Year? What is more likely? What would you go more likely?
I don't know. I don't know why he's willing to agree with me yesterday about Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton both sucking, but Bo Nix is great.
No, it's the Sampson yesterday, Josh.
I don't know. I don't know who they've gotten and who they don't. There's just welcome homes coming off of Shane Beamer's Twitter, people committing. Again, I think that one kid is supposed to commit today.
If I'm Shane Beamer, I'm just putting out a welcome home every day. At some point, people aren't going to be able to keep up with it anyway. And
Yeah, I think that's what he's got to do. Is just he's got so big.
Yeah.
Oh, Richard.
Oh, Richard's watching. Okay.
Richard, if you listen on the live stream, then just do the live chat, man. Don't make me tabs.
Kid is a natural QB.
Richard, I don't think Polinsky's going to start for Northwestern. That didn't seem to be the vibe coming out of spring ball. It's pretty even up there.
So what you're saying is Polinsky is not going to be drafted.
He could. He's still young.
Think so?
He's still technically a redshirt sophomore. Or I guess he is a redshirt. He didn't play in 4 games. Even if it was a COVID year anyway, so he's still a sophomore. He could win the job. Maybe he's had a good summer.
He had some focus,
I think they're too busy. The big quarterback battle up there is Justin Fields and Andy Dalton. That's what I think more of Chicago is worried about than the Northwestern quarterback situation.
Yeah, probably.
Not a battle.
My kids got a fantasy football magazine from their grandmother, and they're like, "You didn't tell us Mitch Trubisky wasn't with the Bears anymore."
You should have told him to call me.
And they were talking about,
you should tell him, hey, if you get up a little bit earlier and you listen to the show, you'll hear these things. You need to start getting up and listening to the show.
There you go.
my 8-year-old is like a Patrick protege who's like, yeah, Justin Fields is definitely going to start. I mean, why would they start? Dalton's terrible.
They are.
I like your son
That
very
Nagy
much.
said, under no circumstances is Justin Fields going to be their week 1 starter.
I'll let you battle it out with my 8-year-old on that.
Jen, did you get that thing edited yet? I want to get it forwarded over.
Yeah, I'm actually sending it right now.
Okay. I don't feel like being harassed all day. I think it's gonna be a lake day for me with the kids since it's gonna rain tomorrow.
Yeah, I just got done, knitting an Afghan, so now I had a chance to go ahead and get that sent over to you.
I see one attachment. Is both commercials on there?
Once you read the email, it says both spots are in this one file.
Jen, I'm just trying to forward it.
I know. No, I just put them back to back.
I'm just trying to do the bare minimum here at 7:20.
So it's Thursday.
Dude, it's lucky anybody's getting anything out of me after yesterday at about 3 o'clock.
All right, you guys are up.
Mississippi State national champion, and college athletes can cash in on their name, image, and likeness. Hello, July 1. Month unlike we've ever seen, and it is here. The story that I'm seeing right now that has me most interested about this name, image, likeness thing, because it would be easy to come on here and just rip the NCAA. Hey, what do you guys do? What? I think Peter Burns from the SEC Network said, "Oh, classic college stuff." That the NCAA waited to the 23rd hour to put something out about name, image, likeness the day before it went into effect. It's different for sure. To the texter that hit us up earlier, and I guess this is another take out there, right? About if they receive money, they shouldn't get a scholarship. This is the end of pure college sports. It's a sad day. That's what anonymous texter said. And I know he's not alone. I think there are more of you out there that think this way. But think about what you're really saying. Milo's Tea is going to pay Bo Nix, I don't know, hundreds of dollars to take a picture holding their tea. And it looks like he was like in his parents' kitchen or something. He said it was a family tradition in his family, especially around the holidays. That's not going to change. That's going to... Mackenzie Milton and De'Aaron King. Milton's at Florida State. De'Aaron King's at Miami now. They're starting this business. They're co-founders of this business that's trying to do the NFT thing, the non-fungible tokens, where they're trying to basically put out their own cards, right? And they're trying to be the 21st version of Topps or Stadium Club, they're saying. How is that going to affect what we watch on Saturdays? To me, they're completely separate. And if you think big-time college football has been this idyllic amateur venture for the last several decades, I don't know what you've been doing, man. Because what do we think that Shane Beamer and the Gamecock football program is selling right now with facilities? Like, that is just another way of showing recruits the great life they can have playing football for the Gamecocks. Which, I get it that the money hasn't directly gone in their pockets, but it's a pretty good life. And that money that has been flowing since, when would you say, Bill, that Gamecock football kicked it to the next level? Was it's Steve Spurrier, right? I feel like the first time they slapped a coat of paint on Williams-Brice, and Steve Spurrier basically came into town and said, no, this ain't going to do. The facilities around here aren't good enough to compete at the highest level, and all your donors out there who, what was his famous line was, yeah, South Carolina people will support the program. They just never been asked before. And when he started asking for money and Eric Hyman started just infusing money into the program, to me, that was the most obvious point in my life to see that professional sports and big-time college sports, not that big a difference from a money perspective. It's just that where that money goes to. And in college, it is going straight to facilities and has gone to facilities. And the college student-athlete experience, I guess, is what I'm saying there. And the fact now that some of these kids get to put some of that money in their pocket based off of their own work and starting a business or being a spokesperson for a business. To me, that has absolutely nothing to do with spoiling the product that we'll see on the field or on the court or whatever. And Patrick, you mentioned it, the USC women's basketball players right now, probably in line at South Carolina to make the most money just off of their social media, which in my opinion, they should have always had the opportunity to do because it's their social media.
Right. Pretty confident that texter's not going to, he's not on Instagram, I'm not thinking.
Bill, what do you think about this new era starting today and its effect on college sports in general?
You know, it's interesting. I don't think in terms of, I think maybe some people are looking at it with too narrow of a focus. We look at it from the major sports, right? And then I'm just going to narrow it down to two: college football and college basketball. The Action Sports, the Action Network.com article that I've got here pulled up in front of me, discussing Darren Rovell, who I do think does a good job. I don't always agree with him, but I think he does a good job of trying to break down some of the finances in sports. And the way he breaks this down, I mean, there's athletes on here. I'm looking at number 12 on his list, Maisie Russell, who he thinks stands to benefit. He's got her listed 12 on who stands to benefit the most from name, image, likeness. She's Kentucky track and field. It says hurdler following the footsteps of Sydney McLaughlin as a high-profile collegiate track star and second largest TikTok following among collegiate athletes. She has 375,000 TikTok followers.
Could you say that like an older guy?
I can't.
That's how I say TikTok, too.
Yes, I will not watch a TikTok video. And so I think that there's a part of it, like as you scroll down this list, and you're going to see, I don't know, who knows what Bo Nix got for Milo's tea? $500, $1,000, who knows, maybe $10,000. I don't know.
Free tea.
I doubt it.
Right? Just
He's
a
gonna
couple
get-
of cases.
Maybe, yeah, a couple
He's going to
of
get kidney stone.
Well, it was as he said. What did you say, Patrick? It's been a tradition in the Nix family household. Maybe that's what they traded it for, a lifetime subscription or a lifetime
Something
supply.
to wet his whistle.
But I mean, you go through this list again. Number 4 on his list is Haley and Hannah Cavender, Fresno State women's basketball players, and he points out they have 3.3 million. Did you just say yeah?
Yeah, I've seen them. They're big.
He's 25 years old, Bill. Give him a break.
3.3 million followers on TikTok. And so here's what we don't understand about this is that it's not people look at it as I think, and this is why I say we focus on football and basketball. We look at it as the old school way of here's how I slip $100 bills into the high profile quarterback's hand or the high profile running back's hand and make sure they're taken care of so that they
Oh yeah, they were kind of mentioning that.
I think
earlier.
that's
It's
taking
there's
too
a couple
narrow of a
scales
focus
who
on this. Like when you
But
start
that's so
looking-
disingenuous because
kinda
we
roll
all
their
know that's
eyes a little
happened,
bit, and yeah,
right?
Right.
We
yeah,
all know
yeah.
that's happened.
Well, I think people say that. Well,
things
this
like
is
that,
just
you
a
know.
way now for them to almost do it publicly, like
Right.
funnel money.
Isn't that
through a
good?
car dealership.
At least we know. At least
Yeah,
it's out there.
Here's what I will find fascinating. Who's the first player who gets hit with tax evasion and has to miss a game?
I was going to say,
it's,
who's the first
interesting. And then, of course,
21-year-old to
get
get
into
sponsored by a beer
whole thing of
company or
women
like
anymore, and then
because
we'll be good.
the
We're
NFL
gonna start getting into all
has
that
they have
nonsense.
like the collective bargaining agreement that like prohibits
yeah.
them from working with things like that. I mean, you mentioned Action Network, like there's nothing that says a college kid can't be sponsored by the Action Network. The Action
but
Networks post sports betting
here,
odds and
I'll
things
tell you
like
an
that.
interesting one that Heath brought up. I was listening to Heath a little bit yesterday, and I think he got a question about it, and Heath very analytical went through. Well, broke everything down.
No,
And the question was, hypothetically, could the Carolina Panthers, who is a business organization, sponsor football players? If you're looking to reach, and I'm stealing from Heath here, but in case you didn't hear him talk about it, it's actually kind of an interesting concept where let's say the Carolina Panthers wanted to sponsor or endorse a South Carolina player and a Clemson player. And that player says, well, on Saturdays, I'm a Gamecock or Tiger, but on Sundays, I'm a Panther. And you pay them to wear their Panthers gear and put out pictures on Sunday morning. It's a business organization. And I'm going to defer to Heath Klein, who's much smarter on this stuff. He said, yeah, I don't see anywhere that would be illegal.
Because they just passed it at the last minute without actually thinking things through. They didn't think that this was ever going to actually happen. They thought they were going to get the Supreme Court to bail them out. So they were like, yeah, we don't have to worry about it. And then realized, oh, shoot, this is starting tomorrow. And there's going to be a completely uneven playing field and just rush it through. So
But
it'll be
now,
their own fault.
But now, as I understand it, you're talking about it would be the NCAA's own fault. And I'm worried about that, not passing anything that's a national rule there because they basically just relied on Congress and thrown their hands up. Said, if you guys are going to make this law, then you make a federal law. And Congress is like, no, that's not our job. We don't have to do that. We have states here. So there are, 12 states, I think, in the country right now, maybe 18 that have the law going into effect today. South Carolina is not one of those. South Carolina its proposal was going to wait until next year to give the NCAA some time to do this. The other states have pushed it through, and basically the NCAA has had to say, all right, uncle, you guys win. Now you can do it. But for those states that don't have the laws in effect, it's now up to each individual athletic department, as I understand it, to come up with their own rules to keep a 21-year-old from being a beer sponsor, for instance, Patrick, or any kind of gambling connections or all of that. We're going to see that's not going to happen because these schools will allow it to happen, and it makes sense. It's good business. Bill, the Carolina Panthers one, I don't understand how that would really benefit the Panthers and the NFL's relationship with college football, basically having it as its minor leagues. I don't think they're going to do anything to jeopardize that.
Well, no, Heath wasn't saying that they would do it. It was a hypothetical of what if the Panthers wanted to do it? What if you wanted to get into a new market? I mean, they put up, I don't know. Actually, I said they put up billboards. I'm not sure I've ever seen a Panthers billboard around Columbia. Maybe there is, and I just ignore it. But let's say you want to go into you want to market to an area. What better way to do it than to have one of the top players just go on Instagram or go on Twitter or whatever?
Well, the better way would be to use the coaches, which they could have already done.
I don't know. You say that. What would be more attractive to have had Dabo Sweeney say that he was a Tiger on Saturdays and a Panther on Sundays, or Trevor Lawrence? Who do you think gets more?
Dabo.
Really? See, I'd have gone Trevor Lawrence on that.
First of all, Trevor Lawrence is a Jaguar and was going to be in the – I understand your point, but, like, he always knew he was going to be in the NFL anyway. Like, college is about – like, translate that to Tuscaloosa. I mean, Mac Jones or Tua versus Saban. Like, of course it's going to be Saban.
Let me ask you, who do you think across the landscape is more polarizing, Dabo or Trevor Lawrence?
Dabo's not polarizing.
Go a year ago. Don't go now. Don't go now. Go a year ago.
But it doesn't matter because Dabo's not polarizing in that market. They just worship him. So
I mean, but you can still reach. That's marketing. You still reach outside your market. It was a hypothetical that Heath was asked and answered, and I thought it was interesting, just in that. Yeah, you're right. There are the limitations here. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people are making it out to be. You see people say, "Well, what's going to happen to locker room chemistry when you have one guy making thousands of dollars and another guy not making any, and it's going to be completely unfair in the locker room. You're going to have jealousy." I don't think that's going to be the case. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting to read this article on, it's from Action Network. It's Darren Ravel, just because it opens my eyes more to who stands to benefit from this more. And the crazy thing is, it's a social media world. And look,
Exactly. I'm with RL here. He says there'll be a lot of YouTube and Twitch channels created by these players going forward. Money sitting in their dorm rooms playing fans in video games or doing other paid content. That's where we are in 2021, as opposed to being the sponsor or the spokesman for Milo's Tea, which Bo Nix already is. I think I agree with you, Bill. It's going to be a lot more digitally driven revenue coming into kids who are in a digital world. It only makes sense to me. And it's never made sense that they weren't able to do that. Jeremy says, let me start with, I'm okay with name, image, and likeness. If Nick Saban can be in Aflac commercials, athletes should be able to as well. Says he's got two questions. Who do you think makes a huge swing for recruiting in major markets? And who's the first quarterback to get blackmailed by his offensive line since he's not getting the deals? Very interesting questions there. I don't know. I don't see anybody making a huge swing for recruiting in major markets like this. I think all programs will adjust. I don't think there's anybody going to be, now we can do name, image, likeness, so we're going to rise to the top of college football or college basketball and start getting all these recruits. We'll see. And then if your offensive line is blackmailing you because you're making money as a quarterback, they probably weren't going to be a very offensive line for you. We kick off the second half of the show. Coming up next, 803-404-6100 if you would like to join. It's the early game here on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, we've got a way to help you with that Zoom.
So this is a problem, right? All right.
Professional help. That's what I need at my house for multiple reasons. What we've gotten it for, actually, is for help keeping our house looking and feeling its best with Zero-Res carpet and air duct clean. Zero-Res. Come out to my house a couple of times, clean my carpets and area rug, tiles in both the kitchen and bathroom, and done a great job. And after Jesse had left my house, Jesse, we talked about Sidney Rice, I think with the high school back, Gaffney back in the days, big Gamecock guy. But after he left, it was just like a different house. It was in pristine shape, like I expect a professional carpet and air duct cleaning company to put my house in. What I didn't expect was to feel good about how Zero-Res does it specifically, because they have a patented powered water system, no harsh chemicals involved. Man, the 1-year-old yesterday was, again, pushing the limits. Now he's up climbing on coffee tables and trying to jump off. So I'm basically on the floor making diving saves all the time these days. Have a newfound appreciation for Zero-Res, getting my floors as clean as possible, and then our ability or inability to keep them as clean as possible. Let Zero-Res help you out. 3 rooms of carpet clean, only $119 plus a free hallway when you mention me, Tim Hill. ZeroResColumbia.com, where you can book your appointment today. Give them a call at 803-262-4020. That's Zero-Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. That was a good smile, Patrick. Somebody get you?
Just the last text. Bo Nix is terrible, and so is Milo's tea.
See, this is gonna lead to more interesting college game day signs, and that's really all I care about.
Maybe he did just get lifetime supply of tea. Who knows? We had this discussion over the weekend. It was a hypothetical. I don't even know how it came up. But if you got a sponsorship, no money, but you got a lifetime supply of one product, but the payment was you had to get that logo or name tattooed like big on your arm, what product would you be willing to?
Well, now how big is big? Like, what do you mean big on my arm? Like my whole.
Like I said I would get the only thing, it would be something I could never afford. Like I would get like the Lamborghini, the word Lamborghini, like big on my arm. And I would just get cars that I've never been able to afford. I'd be willing to ruin my arm with the word Lamborghini.
Let's see. We'll get that question answered for you in just a second there, T-Ray. Yeah, so you're basically taking RL's question and then adding the tattoo to it. And
yeah, that's what made me think about the tattoo question we were talking about this weekend.
That's a great one.
Can the answer be nothing, that I don't want a tattoo so badly?
Oh, you know, it came up. It came up because we were hanging out. We met this couple that the guy had a Nike logo on his calf or something. We were like, oh,
wow,
brutal, dude. But I would get a Nike swoosh on my bicep if it meant I never have to pay for clothes again.
Right, shoes.
Yeah,
that's probably where I would have gone in college. If I'm thinking back to what I would do in college, I was thinking Gatorade, big can of Gatorade.
It's not bad.
Be better than that, though. Bill, where'd you go? Crown Royal?
I was thinking Blanton's. I'm looking to see what their logo is.
I wouldn't mind getting the captain on my arm.
Oh yeah, I was a big fan of the captain back in the day. Jen, can you help T-Ray out? 20 East or 20 West?
It's showing 20 eastbound right now, and I just had Al confirming that. So, and it looks like it's backed up at least to mile marker 55. So, and things are stopped. So
On 20 East.
I try to get off the interstate.
Yeah, I think actually, because the logo looks a little bit cooler, I'd probably go Pappy Van Winkle. Because I'm looking right now, 4 bottles. If I just do that, like the Pappy Van Winkle 15-year bourbon is $2,500.
I would definitely just get Samsung free TVs forever. You kidding me?
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
you can get TVs for like $200.
Yeah, but I can't. You can't get a 85-inch 4K Ultra HD TV for $200. Probably like $5,000.
Why don't you just go big picture then and get Best Buy on your arm? That way you can just
I don't
pick
know.
anything out of the Best Buy store.
If that was actually possible, then for sure, yeah. We'll just Amazon logo.
Patrick's gonna have a barcode tattooed on his arm too. It's his
Hey,
checkout
yeah,
code.
we're gonna show back up the studio. and Patrick's gonna take his shirt off and have Best Buy on his right arm,
Shave it in his
Starbucks on one side.
That's cheating, though. You could just get Amazon and you could have everything in the world.
That's true. Yep.
Shop
So would you
local.
get Amazon just across your back, totally across your back?
There's local retailers on Amazon. They just get buried. They just get buried by the
Exactly. Algorithm.
originals.
All right, coming back in. How you guys are up?
July 1st, 2021, where Gamecocks move up from number 21 to number 20 in the most recent Rivals recruiting rankings after Texas wide receiver Landon Sampson makes his commitment yesterday, and the commitment numbers goes up to 12. I think it's 8 still in the Clemson class that falls right behind the Gamecocks in the Rivals ranking, and I'm pretty sure they're just doing that for our show. Clemson's number 21, and Carolina's number 20. Also, Mississippi State champions for the first time in their 134-year history of playing team sports after last night's 9-0 one-hit performance over Vandy, where they absolutely dominate the last 2 games in that national championship series. And Chris Lemonis and company are champions, and it was quite the scene in Omaha, man. It's going to take a while for Omaha to recover, and then when everybody goes back to the state of Mississippi, it's going to be a celebration all summer long, I would imagine. I don't know when that thing's going to end. And then today is the first day of college athletes being able to cash in on name, image, and likeness. We're already seeing a picture out there of Auburn quarterback Bo Nix endorsing Milo's tea, and that led someone to hit us up on the text line. That was just rude. Bo Nix is terrible, and so is Milo's tea. Oh, there you go. That's the exact opposite of Richard's take today. Richard hit us up on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line, says, Patrick, I think you'll be quite mad this year because I think under Mike Bobo, Bo Nix is going to have an amazing year in the play-action offense, LOL. He's definitely been sporadic thus far in his career, but Bobo is a great fit for him and a dark horse SEC Player of the Year. Richard has also predicted that Ryan Helinski, that he thinks the fair over-under of touchdown passes this year at Northwestern is 20.
I mean,
But
I
he
won't
did
be
make an
mad.
adjustment. You won't be mad at all?
I don't hate Bo Nix. I just think he's terrible at playing quarterback. And
Massively.
I disagree with the other person too. Milo's tea's not bad. Bo Nix is terrible though.
So this also led, we have a question from RL. What would you have endorsed when you were back in college? And Patrick, you said you're having a discussion that not only did you have the chance to get the unlimited quantity of products, like we think Bo Nix might just get a bunch of Milo's tea, but you also had to tattoo the logo on your bicep. If you had that deal offered to you in college, what would you take? And your answer was Lamborghini?
No, that was our theoretical. If I could get tattooed something and get them for free in perpetuity,
right?
In college, I would have gotten Cosmic Brownies tattooed on my arm.
Oh.
Big fan
I
of brownies.
abused the 50-cent snack shelf at the gas stations. Yeah, I just would have gotten the corner store. I would have gotten the Sunset Point corner store on Rosewood tattooed. Yeah.
No, Jen, you gotta admit, I see where he's going with that. Like, I don't know if I would ever use the word abuse the fit, but I understand what he's saying. Like, if you get in the car to take a trip, you hit up the brownie, the fudge rounds, the Swiss cake roll, grab a Mountain Dew. It wasn't the healthiest lifestyle, but if you were in college, I wouldn't do that now.
Yeah, you could get the change out of the center console and you go buy a snack with it.
Right. Mine was getting the $1 Totino's pizzas back in the day.
Yeah, no, there you go. Yep.
But I think
Celeste ones are good too. Celeste.
Right. Well, I would have been probably thinking that the ultimate endorsement then would have been the high dollar frozen pizzas.
Yeah.
If you right. They've been on top of the world.
Yeah, don't aim low, Patrick.
Question from James on the YouTube live stream. What are some endorsements you would want to see with South Carolina play? And I think right now, since this has just started today, what you want to make sure that your team, no matter who it is, I think it's more of a, what do you want them to stay away from, right? What do you want not being embarrassing out there? Like, first of all, you want to stay away from any issues. And I think this will be across the board. I'll be shocked if we do see what you kind of proposed earlier, a 21-year-old out there endorsing beer or alcohol in any way. I think that's going to be not allowed by any of these athletic departments. Gambling, not going to be allowed by any of these athletic departments. So you're going to see that stay away from. I think what you're going to see mostly is social media campaigns. And I guess kind of like Mackenzie Milton from Florida State, now former UCF quarterback, and De'Aaron King from Miami are trying to do with their non-fungible token business and going in that direction. But it will be more, hey man, we'll play video games, or I will make sure to give attention to your event or come to your event and get people there and the whole thing. What do you think, Bill? Do you have anybody in particular? Sonny says Bojangles is about to make some money in Columbia.
Everybody's gonna have their own brand of biscuit.
I don't think we're talking about millions of dollars here. I think I'm just trying to think of who you just. I think you pointed somebody out about coming to your event, and that's a good one. If you want somebody to just come speak to the local Rotary Club, you want. There's Ryan Helinski would have maybe been in line, and maybe at Northwestern, because of everything he had been through and how he could talk life experiences at that age. And if you're ever around him, he was a very mature kid just in terms of what he could go and speak about. And look, his time is worth money. And so if you wanted him to come speak to your group, maybe you wanted him to come speak to your office about leadership. It's weird to say that you're bringing a 19-year-old kid in to speak to your office. And certainly there are ways that gets nefarious, right?
What about Cameo?
Right. You guys.
Cameo's big now. There's a
The
lot of
online, basically it's a video request service, right? You put some money.
I don't know
money
whether
up
I'm happy
to
that
somebody to see
I didn't know what that was, or that I'm amazed that Tim was right there with Patrick on knowing what exactly that was.
No, it's huge now. But you can set your price. You can say $5, and I'll send you something. Or there's people that have $1,000. You pay $1,000, and it'll record a 2-minute message for you or something.
Bill, I think I came to know this. Steve Spurrier has gotten on Cameo, I believe. Why? I believe.
Then that's going to be obviously your first thing. And I think that's what it is. I think the doom and gloom of, well, this ruins college athletics. Yes, there are going to be certain players that are going to draw a lot of money. That's going to happen. But I also think it's going to be few and far between. I don't know. I go back to, again, this ranking, and you talk about these gymnasts for different schools who have these ridiculous TikTok and Instagram followers. And maybe that's where you see more of the money going. Bryce Young, the Alabama quarterback, is number 5 on Darren Ravel's list. And it says, plug in the next Alabama quarterback who has the second best odds of winning the Heisman this year behind Spencer Rattler. He doesn't have the social following he needs to be up higher, but he's the quarterback at Alabama, which will make him a fast riser. Let me ask this. Does Bryce Young have to be the quarterback at Alabama? Does he have time to be going on Instagram and Cameo and TikTok and making videos for his sponsors?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. Maybe he does. Maybe that's what he does now. Maybe he doesn't bother going to class, and now you see the big issue. But I think that I don't think it's financially going to be as lucrative as people all of a sudden believe it to be. I think people are looking at it and go, it's going to be like professional sports. Kids are going to be making thousands upon or millions upon millions of dollars. It's not going to. I just don't see it being that way. Maybe a player here, maybe a player there. Huh?
What about having these athletes as promoters, like in Miami, getting paid for bringing out to a certain establishment in 5 days? The Dirt thinks we're going too small here. The spirit of the rules for Kevin Harris to be able to sign autographs for $250, but what stops Phil Knight from making it known? If you start for Oregon, you get a $50,000 Nike contract. $5 million a year for Nike is nothing. Knight donates more of his own money every single year. Good questions. And that's where we are. We don't know the answers to them necessarily as we sit here on the first day. It will start to become clearer for sure. We'll continue to discuss Love to hear your thoughts. 803-404-6100 is the number. You can call or text. It's the early game here. 107.5 The Game.
Big weekend ahead of us. Obviously, some celebrations to be had. Maybe one of those celebrations is the fact that you refinanced your house and saved a little bit of money with the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder. Maybe you're going to celebrate that this coming weekend, because if you haven't given Jacob and Brian Kovar a call yet, what are you waiting on? See what they can do for you and your family when it comes to refinancing your house. Maybe you've got some equity in there and you might be able to get some money back, pay off a credit card, maybe improve your financial situation a little bit. Don't know what I'm talking about? That's okay. Give Jacob Crowder a call today, 803-719-1005. You can email him, the letter J, Crowder, CROWDER at firstpalmetto.com. Jacob and Brian Kovar teaming up, working together, helping people like you refinance their home, get a lower interest rate, then be able to maybe get a little bit of money back, maybe pay off a debt that they owe. They just helped a friend of theirs down in North Augusta put a basketball court in his backyard with the money he was able to get back after refinancing. Things like that make a difference. So check out that mortgage statement today and then give the mortgage guru a call. 803-719-1005. Again, that's Jacob Crowder, Brian Kovar, the mortgage guru team at First Palmetto Bank.
Richard, nice work making the pivot to the YouTube.
Just make sure you subscribe.
Work on the takes, though.
What's that?
So thanks for making the switch, but work on the takes.
You don't like his Bryce Young take?
I mean, how would you possibly know that?
They're basically
the Bo Nix is a dark horse for Heisman.
Alabama's on the best quarterback run in college football that we've seen since Miami, right?
He's the number one quarterback in the country. I'm pretty sure he can throw the football.
I guess you have to put Clemson there too, Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence, and then maybe Wanalele. But
Oklahoma had back-to-back number one picks, and we'll have 3 number one picks in 5 years.
True. They stole Hurts from Alabama.
Yeah, and they stole Baker from Texas Tech.
Right. I don't give them a ton of credit. It's Kyler Murray.
They stole Kyler from Texas A&M.
They stole everybody. They just get the next guy.
Yeah.
I like how y'all said they stole them as if they went in the middle of the night, went to the dorm room, was like, hey, man, come on with us.
Yeah, and they stole Caleb Williams from Maryland.
Did y'all throw Baker Mayfield in there? Did you say Mayfield? Did you say Mayfield, Murray, and Hurts?
Oh, Kyle Allen in there? I guess he left, right?
He went to Houston, though.
Who's he play for in the NFL?
Kyle Allen.
Is he still in Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was my 8-year-old's big take in his fantasy football magazine. Did you see, should Tyler Heineke be in the top 40 of quarterbacks?
Was he?
Yeah.
Nice. No, he probably shouldn't be. He's probably right.
You'll be happy to know your Washington football team's team defense is up there in the projected rankings there for fantasy. I think number 4 in both the magazines.
So here's my question as I scroll through Twitter this morning. Is more of this happening on more of the promoting happening on Instagram or on Twitter, Patrick? What do you think?
I've only seen – I mean, I saw the Bo Nix thing on Twitter, but he posted it on his Instagram, so.
We're going to need to – you're going to have about 30 seconds. coming in at best.
At best.
You guys are up. You're up.
I think it's going to be bigger than you think, Anonymous Dexter says. I don't think it's even going to come close to, quote, destroying college sports, but this is going to be big with commercials and whatnot because college football is huge. The first day of name, image, and likeness. And athletes being able to cash in has you smiling, huh, Bill?
Well, I'm just thinking of the first time a kid runs into the end zone after a touchdown and pulls up his jersey to reveal some kind of T-shirt with, Milo's T on it.
Hour 3.
Is that what we're going to see? Bo Nix takes his helmet off, puts his hat on, says Milo's T?
Yes. Clear.
I was trying to get that last one in there and I stuttered.
I'm going to go do some camp preparations. Be right.
Oh, camp preparations.
The preparation H.
Well, Patrick, sounds like the train is coming through.
Train's really loud right now.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like it's usually not that loud.
It's definitely really loud.
All right, so Bill, what do you think of the big NASCAR team sale?
The big NASCAR team sales. I was way too invested in hockey last night to be paying attention. It's Thursday morning. Now's when I get revved up with the NASCAR news.
Mm-hmm. So, with a team being sold, nothing got on your radar yesterday?
Drivers stay the same, Jen. Teams come and go. It's all about the drivers.
Really? Okay.
Got to have the good drivers. Good pit crew.
Okay. Interesting.
What did Tommy Tuberville say?
Oh, I don't know. I think you ripped into.
I did see a lot of people putting the quote of Dabo saying this is the day he quits.
This is technically it's supposed to be the day he quits. That is true. That is very, very true. Road America.
Oh, just shoot me now.
Looks like a very even race.
Yeah, that's that famous race out in Colorado.
Oh, of course. The Get High 400. It's a very popular one. Everyone just stopped buying Milo's sweet tea. Now, I think Alabama fans all started buying more of it to keep Bo Nix there for one more year. Don't want him trying to go pro.
Do they want him? Somebody texted and I was like, what's up with people buying pre-made tea?
All right, hold on. I got to call my father. Let me step away for a second. Y'all keep the energy going.
I would think that, Southerners would not be fans of pre-made.
Who are these weird people? The text said, who are these weird people who buy pre-made tea?
Northerners.
Everyone in the South brews their own tea. No shot. That's so much work. In the comment section.
Well, it's probably like, it's the convenience.
I mean, yeah.
And kind of like grits and everything else. Like, you try to do it the full-on way, but at times it's going to be, you take the easy way because you just need a quick tea hit.
And yeah, I mean, you can buy pre-made tea that's like been freshly brewed. Like if you go to Publix and buy the Publix tea, or go to Lowe's and buy the Lowe's tea, like, it's pretty fresh. Lowe's has good tea.
I don't know about the pre-bottled stuff at Milo's. I don't drink tea, so I don't know anything about it. But I can't imagine to a Southerner that would be good.
Arizona tea is good. Gold Peak tea is good. I buy both of those. Gold Peak tea is always on sale at Food Line. Yeah, I don't want to boil water and I don't even own a pitcher.
Go buy a glass or a bottle of milk, or juice, like a glass bottle.
Yeah.
Make sun tea that way. Just throw a couple tea bags in, sit it out in the sun.
But I mean, don't you? If you just go buy Bojangles sweet tea and that pre-made tea, like I'm perfectly happy with that.
Yeah. If you get sweet tea at a fast food establishment, you're getting pre-made tea for sure. It's not called lazy to just buy tea.
Hope, if you think that's lazy, oh boy, there's some other things I do in my life that you'd be very impressed with.
Yeah, do you buy like apple juice? Do you buy orange juice? I mean, are you squeezing your own oranges and making your own orange juice? I mean, respect to anyone that's just making all of their beverages.
That's right. Patrick, if you're not brewing your own beer, you're being lazy.
Yeah, agree.
I think tea is different, though. I mean, it's a Southern thing, just like, again,
It is. Now, I will say, I've cut out
pride.
in the last
Also,
5 years.
the companies
I've cut
that
out
make sweet tea in pre-made, so you're buying it from a Southern company.
But I've cut out drinking sweet tea. That's been a big. By the way, Patrick, last night, for whatever reason, I think I was trying to show something on your Twitter account, and I saw the profile picture you have of you and me on the deck, like you're wearing the rest. I didn't realize how fat my face was a year ago. I don't know.
The cover photo on the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is where it ended up, Tim. It was a decent tea conversation, and it's now gone to Bill's face.
Well, I was thinking because I need to get back in the gym. I need to go. I haven't been in 2 weeks. Well, I say I need to go sit in the sauna.
I got a class tomorrow morning at 9:45. Come on, go. There was a guy in there yesterday.
Oh, it has nothing to do with me being the only guy. I just not in the mood to go do that. I'm
Sweating.
No, I like to sweat. I'll probably be outside today. Isn't it supposed to be in the 90s today?
Mm-hmm. But like getting your heart rate up.
I'm more glisten than I sweat.
Gonna just hit 90 today.
Tim, are you a sweet tea guy?
Absolutely not. And I feel like I'm an atypical Southerner that way.
I think I did drink a sweet tea recently somewhere.
I drink a lot of sweet tea. I got 2 kidney stones to show for it.
I was gonna say, good Lord, man.
I don't
Sweet
drink
tea
tea
and
at
milk.
all. No tea, no coffee. So when I go to, like banquet events and stuff, and they have all the tea out, and it's like, okay, for those of us who are the anomaly, got any water floating around?
Yeah, I was always, hey, can I just have water when go to like family events and it's just tea? That's it. That's the option to drink.
Wow.
What events do y'all go to that doesn't have a glass of water?
Some bigger, like,
in the day,
parties,
Bill.
banquets.
Before the greatest marketing people of all time started marketing water.
All right, we're in the open.
Is Hope your sister?
Dude, kidney stones are so painful.
Yes, they are.
I think the back and stomach pain leading up to it is actually worse than passing it.
Yeah. Talk to me about childbirth. You guys are up.
A whole new world as we start the new month. And the summer really kicks into high gear. Mississippi State champions for the first time ever. 134 years of team sports, and last night, complete domination against Vanderbilt that I think most of the sporting world was cheering on. In the first ever team sport national championship, College World Series, 9-0 the final score last night. Just one hit for Vanderbilt, a combined 22-2, I guess, in the final 2 games of that College World Series championship series. And Chris Lamonis and company, a guy that had plenty of South Carolina ties, being a former Citadel assistant for 12 years, going to Sauk City High School, and just seems to be a pretty legit good guy all the way around. Appreciating the championship. Reminded me a lot of 11 years ago when the Gamecocks won their first championship. And apologies to that 2002 women's track team that won the national championship. But Gamecock fans, I think, celebrating the first team championship back then after Whit Merrifield's dramatic walk-off hit that, Patrick, you pointed out a little bit earlier. That was missing from last night for sure, but this year in general in college national championships where they've all been blowouts, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were probably. I mean, wasn't really one of the people that was desperate for Mississippi State to win, but it was such a blowout. People were probably cheering for Vanderbilt to make it closer. I don't. Maybe people were just happy to watch a 2.5 hour celebration and rub it in Vandy's face even more. But yeah, I like to remember a championship and say, oh yeah, this was the play from that championship. This was what Merrifield's walk off. This was Howie Kendrick's home run. This was Braden Holtby's save. Like, that's what I had for my championships, and it was lacking. But hey, it's a party, I guess. But that also, I didn't care to stay I wouldn't have cared to watch till the end of the game, because normally in a championship setting, I like to watch them storm the field and do their dog pile and all that. But felt like you were watching the celebration for the entire from 7:30 on, basically. So it was unnecessary.
I didn't feel like that until the 4-run fifth,
The other segment,
or the 4-run sixth, I think it was, for Mississippi State last night, because knowing what Vandy is, knowing what college baseball can be.
Okay, thanks.
But
Was that the one where they gave him the bulk 4 when clearly it was a strike and they threw the guy at second? Was that the 6th inning, or was that earlier?
Yeah, and no, that was right before the 3-run home run. Yeah. Last night the umpiring was brutal, and that's, typically that's what we might talk about on a show, but there's not much to talk about. It was just brutal. When you're getting balls going maybe even inside the batter's box line, getting called strikes. It was. I mean,
he's bringing up Rocker for going too long when the batter didn't even step inside the box until there were 6 seconds left. Like, what are you?
Yeah,
pay attention, dude.
It was pretty bad. But I know Jay Phillips has done that one and the whole thing. He's all in for reform in college baseball umpiring and the whole deal. That was rough. RL says, by the way, what was that 9th inning bunt about? It was the last out of the game. Vanderbilt player trying to get on base, man. Just trying. They only had 1 hit. They struggled all night. And that was the intrigue for me, whether or not they could pull off the no-hitter and whether or not they would allow Bednar back out there in the 7th inning. I thought they would. They ended up not doing that because of the high pitch count, and the game got to 9-0. So it was unnecessary at that point. He wasn't going to finish the game, and they let him stay in, or he let him stay in, I think is more where it was. And Mississippi State celebrating today. Good for them. The conversation has turned more because today is notable for name, image, and likeness day number 1 across college athletics. Yes, Bill.
Interesting what has just kind of popped out. Apparently it was about 2 hours ago on Twitter, but it appears the first, what I would say, massive, you guys would say Boost Mobile. That's a pretty big endorsement, sponsorship, right?
A national brand for sure.
A national brand. We've already mentioned these 2 girls. They have signed a deal, and they are currently in New York City as I'm looking here. Haley and Hannah Cavendier, twin basketball players, female basketball players for Fresno State, who have millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram, have signed with Boost Mobile. You can go to their Instagram page. I'm looking on Twitter, and they've got screenshots of them. They are in Times Square announcing their monumental Boost Mobile name, image, likeness partnership as we speak this morning. That's a little bit bigger than Milo's teeth. Huh?
Guarantee they'll market it, but they won't be using Boost Mobile.
I bet they will be now.
I bet they'll say they are.
Yeah.
They'll still be using Verizon or AT&T, though.
Yep.
So this, you're saying first kind of real national name brand deal that we know of in college athletics. The headliners today that we've already discussed, Bo Nix with a picture on his Instagram account, social media accounts, endorsing a Milo's tea that I'd never even heard of, by the way. And you guys had a whole tea discussion in the national break on the video stream that you could catch us on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, up and rolling on the station handle at 1075 The Game as well. But the headline that caught most of my interest this morning was De'Aaron King, the quarterback for Miami, and Florida State's quarterback, McKenzie Milton, the UCF transfer, partnered to start a company. And It's one of these non-fungible token things that I don't totally understand. Basically, the 21st century version of sports card and memorabilia trading and trying to take it to the digital form. And allegedly, King earned $20,000 for this thing to put his name to it. But it was the idea of big-time college quarterbacks partnering for a company. And Bill, I don't know how well that flies with Gamecock or Clemson fans if you had Luke Doty partnering with DJ Udowanalele right now in their business venture moving forward. It's something that I never even thought about, but clearly it's going to be something that these players are going to think about and have the option to do moving forward. How does that sit with you, or how do you think about it?
I mean, that does it. That's fine. I'm watching this evolve and thinking about where we are right now with social media. And I don't know if this is sexist or not. I don't think it's going to be the male players who benefit from this. I mean, Tim, what you're suggesting with Mackenzie Milton and De'Aaron King is starting a business. And anybody who's ever started a business, even if you're a college athlete with a backing, is very difficult. But I'm watching the Cavender girls have signed 2 deals this morning that they're promoting. Boost Mobile. They also have an Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Darren Heitner is who I'm looking at right now. They've also signed with a nutrition, I guess, product called 6 Star.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an Instagram post that they've already put up here this morning, and it reads, 6 Star has made it loud and clear that they're for athletes and athletes' choice when it comes to both active nutrition and overall lifestyle. So there's their pitch for 6 Star, whatever 6 Star is. I have zero clue. They just are holding up
protein powder.
Is it? Okay. All right. And then they're both holding up in this picture. They're both holding up $1. And it says the dollar we're holding symbolizes the first time student athletes have had the opportunity to be financially compensated for their name, image, and likeness. And I guess this is under one of theirs. It says, I couldn't be more excited for that to happen. They've signed 2 deals because of their Instagram page, because of what they put up.
Well, and I think women are going to be more successful in this arena. You know, I think there's opportunities. Well, and we had a caller who, you know, also was kind of expressing that as well. It's like there are also ways of infusing some sexuality. So they're going to probably be able to, you know, more than guys would be doing that. So I think that they can kind of appeal to maybe a little more of a broad audience, and they may end up being more financially. This may benefit them more financially.
I mean, look, there are going to be players, elite players who are able to, elite college football and basketball players who are able to benefit from this. I'm not saying that it's going to be limited, but like you're bringing up De'Aaron King and Mackenzie Milton, they're starting a business. It takes work. I mean, like just being able to promote it on the internet is or on Instagram, or I guess now I'm going to have to get into TikTok. I'm going to be so angry today. But I guess that's still doing a business as opposed to just flat being paid for your image, for your pictures on Instagram or your little videos. You know, we kind of joked about this. Yeah, now today, what is it? Dylan Wanham could hypothetically start Wanham's Pancakes, right? Because he's an offensive lineman. He pancakes the defensive lineman. He could have shirts. He could have a pancake. That's a business. You got to go out and
market that and sell it.
And be consistent.
I don't understand the I'm like, I don't get the what is it? Non-refundable tokens. I don't understand.
Fungible. How dare you, sir?
Fungible, whatever. Yeah, I don't.
It just sounds like a fungus.
And as Patrick said, you kind of got involved in it with the Top Shot, and it sounds like it's already kind of, I guess that business line has already kind of come undone.
I don't know. People think it's probably going to be the future. I just don't think that, because I think it's dumb. But we'll see.
And it's dumb that you haven't been able to cash in on it yet. That's what you're saying.
I keep forgetting. I'm going to sign in right now. See if I can sell this stupid card.
While we're on air. That's
803-404-6100 if you would like to weigh in. Several of you weighing in on the live stream, YouTube live stream from Chad. I believe your bigger deals are going to come based on social media following and not how big you are at the school, like those girls from Fresno State. 3+ million followers gets your name out more than a quarterback would. Chris says now every post-game interview with players will be like NASCAR post-race interviews, thanking all their sponsors. LOL. Maybe. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. 803-404-6100. Scott would like to weigh in this morning on the name, image, and likeness new world of college sports. Hello, Scott.
Hey, guys. I want to see what y'all's take is on name, image, likeness, and how it's going to affect some postseason games like bowl games. We can get more production in those.
More production, meaning guys won't sit out now because they'll have more opportunity to have the spotlight on them with national TV. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Well, you know what?
It's a good
That's
thought.
an
Thanks,
interesting
Scott.
question, not because of how you phrased it, but now let's say, Tim, but hypothetically, I don't know, pick whatever sponsorship bowl. We'll use the Belk Bowl because that was most recent for South Carolina with Deebo Samuel. Well, they want people to tune in, right?
Yep.
The Belk Bowl sponsors, endorses Deebo Samuel for a month and says, hey, part of this deal, you got to play in the bowl game. Is it worth it? I mean, I don't know. Now I think a player has to judge, like if it's a player who's going to go in the top 3-4 rounds of the draft, instead of sitting out the bowl game, if somebody comes to him and says, we're going to basically pay you, say, $5,000 to play in this one game because we're sponsoring the bowl. We need you to play in it so that our sponsorship looks good on television. We're going to endorse you, the elite player, because you're going to be the face of, I'll use Belk just because it's a chain. What is it? A store you can walk through. So now you
Call
see
those department stores, I believe.
all the department, but you see cutouts and everything throughout the stores you walk through. Tune into the Belk because that's Christmas time. That's actually a great question about how it could impact football.
So one other direction on that, you have the Academy Sports Bowl, but you got a kid that is sponsored by Dick's.
Right.
Problem.
RL says, I wonder if underclassmen that are projected for later rounds or undrafted free agents will be much more inclined to stay in school another year or two if they aren't as stressed out about money. It's a great point to bring up at this time. What you got over there, Patrick?
Well, it depends on the guy. Like, that's exactly what Derek King did. Like, Derek King could have gone to the NFL draft last year. He got hurt and could have just gone and taken the secure paycheck rather than risking getting hurt again and really plummeting his stock. But he's got $20,000. It's not a $2 million rookie contract in the NFL, but it's something to make him comfortable and not have to worry about as much going forward.
Dogman hits us up, says, I think where some money can be made is like for baseball or softball players doing camps and hitting lessons, pitching lessons in that direction. My question also will be, do they get to use the facilities of the university if they do this, or will they have to get their own facility to do those lessons, or football players doing camps, etc.? Yeah, I think that's part of what these athletic departments are working through right now and have been caught a little bit off guard by July 1 being the start date as opposed to possibly getting it delayed to next year. I know the state of South Carolina's law was written to go into effect, I think, 1 year from now, as opposed to Florida and about a dozen other states. They put their law into effect now, and that's why the NCAA has been forced to open it up. Yes, Bill?
Well, this is where I think you see the colleges. That's a great question, and this is where I think you see the colleges come back on the players and say, oh, okay, you want to put on a private workout for 10 kids? All right, you got to go. If you want to use our facility, yeah, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay us to use our facility.
Yeah, but Bill, that's where recruiting gets involved, right? Hey, if Alabama's charging you to use their facilities, then maybe you're more likely to go to a smaller school where they don't do that, and the benefit goes directly into your pocket a lot quicker. It's all part of the mess that has to be worked out right now.
Just telling you that now we're getting very technical on this. From having done camps, basketball-like camps, there's also insurance involved in that.
Sure.
You got to have insurance where if a kid gets hurt, I don't force that. That's a different line that I guarantee you 18 to 22-year-olds who are maybe thinking, hey, I'll have a quarterback camp and bring some kids in. Now, let's be honest, too. Think about that. If Luke Doty wants to have or say Trevor Lawrence had wanted to have a quarterback camp, you think top high school quarterbacks wouldn't mind coming to Clemson to learn under Trevor Lawrence? The school's not going to they're not going to make them pay for that, right?
Who knows? Yeah, it's all part of where we are.
Is that a benefit? I don't know. Then you go down the path of, is that a benefit?
right? Can you have those kids on campus, and then if coaches were around them or something, that more NCAA issues, the compliance with all this, it's one of the reasons why University of South Carolina and others have hired consulting firms just to deal with this, right? The name, image, and likeness stuff, and it is here in multiple ways. Love to hear your thoughts. 803-404-6100 if you'd like to call or text. It's the early game. It's 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game. The game is on the air, online, on your phone or tablet, on the app, Alexa, Siri.
These players they're going to probably end up driving nicer cars. You're going to probably see better cars driven around now because of the name, image, likeness. So they're probably going to need to visit Love Chevrolet. Make sure they get the best deal possible. Save a little bit of money. Have the largest selection of Chevrolets anywhere in the Midlands. It all makes sense to me. 14 acres of brand new Chevys to choose from at Love Chevrolet out in Irmo in Harbison, I-26 between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. Again, the largest selection of Chevrolets right now. Dealerships having a hard time being able to get product in. That's not the case at Love Chevrolet. If you're looking for a certified pre-owned vehicle, the folks at Love Chevrolet have got you taken care of as well. Maybe that graduate, whether it's college or high school, they're heading to college next year. You want to send them off in a reliable, certified pre-owned vehicle. The folks at Love Chevrolet have got a great lot to choose from there as well. And of course, with the $1,000 low price guarantee, it means you can go shop other dealerships, find a great deal, take it back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they'll beat it, or else they'll write you a check for $1,000. And then finally, the reason I'm a big fan of Love Chevrolet is the sales staff. They don't pressure you. They answer your questions. They're extremely knowledgeable. A lot of the sales staff has been over there 20 plus years. They're familiar with the industry. They know exactly how a car or truck is going to help you with your everyday commute. Don't forget to visit Love Chevrolet. If you're looking for a brand new car or a certified pre-owned car, Love Chevrolet is your one-stop shop. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads. All right. Easy show. Yes, there's our first new spring joke of the day. As I get a little bit more coffee.
It took 2.5 hours.
Bill jetted on you again, Patrick?
No, I said I went to go get more coffee.
Yep, me too. And I got the 6-year-old upstairs by himself with the 8-year-old off the camp. He's not feeling very well, so just needed to check on him.
Uh-oh.
He's feeling better. Can I play my video games?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, everybody knows video games is the natural remedy to any kind of stomach or head cold.
No doubt.
Always what solves the issue.
So Carrie this morning at 8:45, Jen?
Yes. Yep.
You guys, so let's get out at 8:40 here. Feel like I definitely have screwed that up the last couple of weeks, not giving Carrie enough time.
All right.
I was asking Bill about the big sale, and of course he was quite aware of,
Oh yeah.
Chip
I
Ganassi's
mean-
team being sold.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, I'm just wondering,
We're just gonna let Patrick do the segment about F1.
There you go.
So how does that? If I go to turn on that show right now, how is the show? How many seasons we got? How much time do I have to invest?
There's 4.
15 hours.
3 seasons, 5 hours each.
10 episodes each. They're half an hour episodes, yeah.
Okay.
Half-hour episodes would make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm doing the my latest TV venture is Bosch on Prime. Amazon Prime is like a detective series. It's got books written by Michael Conley. I've read some of those. It's all right.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend you got to run out and see it right now.
So you're doing that, and last night a tweet came across that had me cracking up that said the home plate umpire, was calling balls and strikes like Frank Drebin.
Frank Drebin.
And so that sent me down the path of looking to see if Naked Gun is on streaming services. It is. I will now be watching Naked Gun and Naked Gun 2.5 at some point this weekend.
It's Enrico Palazzo. One of the greatest movies overall, but it's if I had to pick one baseball scene, I took a class in college one time. It was like it was some ridiculous like movie class or something, history of cinema, and they're like pick one scene. Everybody picks like these artsy Academy Award nominated movies or winning movies. I picked that one, the baseball. Naked Gun. Like, this is just the best. You guys take yourselves way too seriously in this movie class.
No, you talk about the one where he's striking everybody out, dancing across the field.
Yep, exactly. Moonwalking.
They throw the first pitch. Everybody turns on and stares at him. Strike, and he realizes how much everybody. That's a classic,
right?
I don't know about this so much.
Just perfectly done. Yeah, I think the scene shown before mine in the class was like The Graduate, where they don't even talk and it's just shot unlike anything else had ever been shot before, and Dustin Hoffman expressing so much emotion without saying words.
I listened to Tarantino was on Rogan yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that one. I haven't listened to Rogan in forever. Now that
it's only on Spotify.
You have to get Spotify to get it, right?
Yep.
And then, what is that investment? Is it free? It's not free, is it?
No, it's not free. I
Like $5 a month or something?
Yeah,
That's the
something like
thing.
that.
You just keep
Not
getting
happening.
nickel and dime,
Right.
Like,
Do you
Well, that's
use
why-
anything for music?
Nah, I don't. Pandora.
Yeah.
That's why we're going to start some new promos that stress that we're free. One of the reasons why we're going to do that.
Yeah, because I
Exactly.
use Apple for my podcast, but
I do too.
maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, I'll check and see if there was anybody fascinating that was on Rogan that I feel like I need to listen to.
Right.
So I think in the last 2 months, the only ones I've listened to are Adam Duritz from Counting Crows and now Tarantino.
But you have Spotify just for your music?
Yeah. Yeah, it's much better than Apple Music.
Help me out, Mac. How are you telling me it's free and Craig's telling me it's $15 a month?
Don't know what that means.
Do you only get a certain amount?
I like what Mac's going here.
Maybe you get it free with ads.
What's that?
Maybe free
Maybe
with
you
ads?
get free with ads.
Rogan's free on YouTube?
No, not anymore, I don't think. Because the video auto plays.
What do you mean video?
Well, you don't listen to when you pull up the podcast now on Spotify. It automatically plays the video alongside it. You don't just listen to.
Right. But couldn't you go on YouTube and do it that way?
No, I think they took it down. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but I thought Spotify bought the video service so that it would no longer be on YouTube.
We're getting back in.
I think they only play clips on YouTube. Yeah.
Exactly, RL. That's what I was just going to go on a little rant about here.
Yeah, it's not full episodes on YouTube, just clips.
All right, guys, are up.
I don't understand it. I mean, I guess I get the theory here, but how do you send this in? Buddy B, July 1st, the day collegiate athletics die. Why? Why is there that mentality out there in our capitalist country where I thought it was the American way to make your money? You can get it. Can you guys help me out with this?
I just think people have part of it is because there doesn't appear to be a real regulation of what is allowed. We just kind of walked through that whole. So that was actually a very interesting just walk through of, okay, quarterback for school wants to hold a camp for, say, 20 quarterbacks. Now he wants to use the school. He wants to use the school's facilities. South Carolina, Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, they all have a nice indoor facility. You want to use that facility to bring 20 kids in that maybe you're going to charge $50 a kid for a 3-hour workout. Okay, well, now, does the school charge you? Because you're making money. I highly doubt an athletics department is going to say, oh, yeah, just use it for free. Although, as you pointed out, there's a recruiting pitch. Hey, come to our school. If you want to hold a camp during the summer, we'll give you 2 free camps you can hold during the summer to make some summer money. Well, okay, there's a weird recruiting pitch. Well, now somebody's got to pay for the insurance when these 20 kids come on campus. In
Put
case
together
they
the
get hurt.
waivers. And
Well, then there's that. Well, then you kind of flip that around. Okay, now is it an NCAA recruiting violation because you've got kids on campus and you're allowing your quarterback to use your facility for free. That's where I think it actually gets really interesting, and where there's the regulation is confusing or there is none at all. I don't think it's the end of days as far as college athletics, because I still think the people who are going to benefit from this the most are, honestly, as I'm sitting here watching this develop this morning on Twitter, and I guess Instagram, are going to be the female athletes who have understood how to use TikTok and Instagram to sell themselves initially.
Matt hits us up. Sounds like nobody knows jack squat how this is going to play out. I agree with you, Matt. I think that's the only honest way to put it, is that no one knows exactly how this is going to work out as we sit here today. But the way it started is fascinating across the board to see Bo Nix out there holding up a bottle of tea, saying proud to be a sponsor of Milo's Tea from the SEC quarterback perspective. Then to see a couple of Fresno State women's basketball players signing a major, what was it, Boost Mobile deal, you said, Bill, because they have 3+ million followers on social media.
Yeah, they've signed 2 deals this morning. And I've got a feeling they're doing perfectly fine on both deals. Like and I'll just bring this up because I don't know what their future, I don't know how good of basketball players they are. They got the deals most likely not because they're good basketball players, but because they have been fantastic at building a following on social media platforms. It looks like mostly TikTok and Instagram, where they have plenty, 3.3 million followers on TikTok. And
it doesn't matter how good they are at basketball because they're going to make more off the court than they would with a WNBA salary either way.
And to be quite honest, if I'm those girls, do I even want to play basketball anymore? You didn't get the deal because of
Would you be shocked? Would you be shocked if 2 or 3 months from now they're like, dude, we're making so much money right now. Why are we even in college?
Right.
Why are we even playing college basketball?
I'm
Matt
with you on that.
Matt on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line, I foresee that schools will have marketing departments for their players, and that'll be part of the recruitment. Our players make more on average than that other school. This is just, I think, a more honest way of how it's been done, right? I mean, that's Calipari's whole pitch at Kentucky, isn't it? He added up the salaries not too long ago, and our players have made $1 billion in the NBA. That's why you need to come here. But this is that was my point earlier when I got into the facilities upgrades at the University of South Carolina. That's what Steve Spurrier knew it would take to compete at the highest level, and to compete at the highest level translates to get the best players in. At least now that money goes in their pockets in an above board kind of way. And to me, this is just the natural evolution of where big time college athletics should go with all the money changing hands. That we have gotten to the breaking point where the players finally, I guess the politicians representing the players and seeing all the money there, and maybe it was all the money going that the government wasn't getting enough of from taxes. Maybe that's where we're at. I don't know. But today it's a notable day in so many ways, man, because I think it's just fear, right? That this is the day that college athletics dies. Because don't get me wrong, I love college sports. I don't want it to go away or to be ruined in any way. But I don't think this does it.
It's just a wild, like, it's ruined because now the players are prospering. Like, why is that everyone's got, like, why does that affect anyone? Because now, like, somebody texted in and said, what's going to happen when Bo Nix throws 2 picks and Milo's sweet tea sales go down? I'm telling you, this is going to be bad. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, is everybody dumping State Farm insurance because Aaron Rodgers is holding out? Like, it's just not how it works. What are we even talking about? It's mind-blowing that people are just insulted that a player, a college kid, could make a few bucks when there's hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people watching them on TV every Saturday, and hundreds of thousands watching in person every Saturday.
Patrick, let me get you to look. You're familiar with this NFT stuff, okay?
Sort of.
Okay. All right. So as I'm listening to y'all talk, I'm doing a little bit of research here. If you go to the company that Tim has referenced multiple times this morning, that De'Aaron King and Mackenzie Milton have started. All right. It's called Dreamfield. It's an NFT firm. If you type in dreamfield.co, it's not com, dreamfield.co. I actually looked them up on Twitter, Dreamfield, the Twitter account, and found the website. I don't understand this. I've never felt older in my life than I do right now. But if you go to their website, if I understand this correctly, if you want to buy a Mackenzie Milton NFT, it's $2,000. The Eric King is $2,000.
But these are the first ones ever, right? The Mackenzie Milton one is the only one that exists right now. I think they're still coming up with the Eric King.
Well, here's the thing. Matt Corral, and I don't even think there's an NFT. I can't tell. And I don't know why this is $10,000. I said 10. There's a 1 followed by 4 zeros.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I think this is really notable. It's a couple of quarterbacks joining forces and calling themselves the co-founders of this company, and then they're going to recruit other athletes to join. And why wouldn't you, right? If you're Luke Doty and you're getting a call, right? Hey, man, we'll give you 10% of whatever it sells for, or 50% or whatever it is. And you don't have to do anything. We just want to use your likeness out there. What do you think? I mean, it'd be crazy not to sign on, right? But maybe, and this is the other part of the deal now that comes into it, that you now have an agent helping to represent your business interests, and maybe he's saying, hey, wait a second, let's press pause on this. This is just beginning. We could probably get a better deal with the second company that comes along, because they're not going to have to go through all the growing pains, and they'll figure it out much smoother, and they'll give you a better deal. It's nuts to think about it.
Well, I'm laughing. Trey on the live stream says tax evasion is going to be a problem. You're telling me an 18-year-old knows how to do their taxes? No, but they're about to learn a hard lesson about how CPAs work in this world.
Absolutely.
But again, I think that's going to all be part of it.
Right.
It's going to be
TurboTax is so easy. I've done my own taxes every single year. They tell you everything to do.
But you're not a business. You're an entity.
I am a business. I'm a contractor.
It's not Patrick Perrett LLC right now. I mean, this is.
And that's the other part. Are they going to have to go ahead? Are they all going to have to be, I'm so-and-so Inc., and are they going to become S Corps or LLCs or whatever the case may be to protect their business from their individuals and their parents?
Right, but this is a good thing.
Right.
I understand it can be complicated and it takes work and the whole thing, but this is what I think big time athletes should have had to go through before just having 7 or 8 figures thrown at them to begin with, so they can keep most of that money, as opposed to having people who do that for a profession and have done that always figure out how to basically steal their money. when they're representing them.
Now stop forcing them to take chemistry and statistics classes in college when they don't need it. Teach them how to do this.
Look, we all went to the University of South Carolina, Bill, you, me, and Patrick. And we all saw athletes in our classes who might not have been the most motivated. Let's put it that way. I think that might be the nice way to put it. Don't you think with this opportunity, there will be much more motivated athletes in business classes?
Yeah.
I mean, that is an instant motivator that, hey, this is going to help me protect my money, grow my and the theory of becoming a brand eventually, if you play well enough, collides with, no, you're instantly already a brand or business right now, and it has real world implications.
Or they'll be motivated to actually go into business school or like the mass communications rather than like a general studies or like just whatever the easiest major they could possibly think of is.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if kids think. I don't know if kids. I understand what you guys are saying about it. You are going to be a business, so you naturally maybe that's part of a recruiting pitch. Now, hey, like South Carolina's got a great international. One of the top 3 is, I don't know if it's still number 1 international.
It doesn't have to be part of this pitch from the schools, but it just is better for the kids because they will actually be motivated to pay attention wherever they do go.
I don't know. When was the last kid you remember? What was the last kid you remember flunking out of college and being eligible? You got one, Eric Gilbert, maybe? That was the rumor that he couldn't get into Florida.
So one that's playing right now that just
exactly. That's what I'm saying. When Tim says we all saw athletes who were not motivated and maybe a little uninterested, I can't think of a kid recently anywhere that grades went so bad they had to leave school.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about basically being at school only to play and going through that process just to do it. Going through, like Patrick mentioned, the easiest major possible, just trying to hang on and get the minimum GPA and the whole thing.
I remember Markel Fultz, there was like a big story about him. He knew he was only going to be there for 1 year, but instead of taking like phys ed classes or whatever, he took like all of the finance and like personal like income classes that he could take. So he was like, I know that I'm about to be rich. Let me learn everything I possibly can while I'm here getting a free education that will actually benefit me. So that's all I think Tim's talking about is just apply yourself a little more because you actually have an incentive to now.
Ferrari, NIL won't last on the YouTube live stream. It's going to look so bad when you have a millionaire sitting in class and everybody knows it. You already have, man. I mean, guys have made a lot of money in minor league or professional baseball and then come back and play football. So we've seen that before. And we've seen, Trevor Lawrence was a millionaire sitting in class at Clemson. He just
didn't have it yet.
Hadn't put the money in the bank account yet.
There are lots of millionaires, like children of millionaires in colleges right now.
Right.
Do you know how many like Range Rovers and like Mercedes Benz are driving around South Carolina's campus right now? Like there's $100,000 cars parked on Bull Street in the Bull Street garage on any given day. Like it's.
And Timothy hit this up. Let me get this one out, Bill. Yep. Now it's all about money. This is why I love college football, because it was all about winning. Now it's all about money. Come on, Timothy.
Well, no, I don't. But like, it's just like the other person who said on the live stream about millionaires. I think the misconception here is that these kids are going to profit to the point of millionaires. Like that's going to be. What do you think? Out of 3% of the entire?
Not even that much. Right?
Like
max.
These kids, I would be. Maybe they make in a year off of endorsements. Average. What do you think? $5,000-$6,000.
Yeah, somewhere in there to go across the board.
You're going to have people who get above the average. You're going to have these 2 girls from Fresno State who are probably going to push toward that $1 million thing. And you know what? They probably, as Patrick said, they probably won't play basketball a whole lot longer because their career as mobile sales girls or model, whatever they are. I don't even know what they're technically promoting here. But that line of work will be far more lucrative than them playing basketball for Fresno State.
You know who's happy that he's not dealing with this right now is former USC Sports Information Director Kerry Tharp, now Darlington Raceway President. We're going to talk to him next, get some picks going in. Fortunately, it won't be Bill bragging about a winning pick. Thank goodness. That's coming up next. Dramatic conclusion of the show attached to it as well. It's the early game on 107.5.
It's a new year. They're hungry, they're driven in a new attitude. I want guys that want to be here, not just going out there to hire some guy that has a famous last name. It's not street treads. Guys that I think
Nothing here, right, Joe? We don't have a live here, correct? Dude. That's already happened for some people.
Before he comes in,
Bill, do you know the answer for Sonny? How many silent commitments are out there? I think it's just 2, isn't it?
3.
3.
Well, that's what Wes Mitchell broke down last night. There's 3 left.
Troy, we hear you. But from our perspective, it's nice to have something to talk about from the college football deal that is new this time of year.
I do agree with that.
So, Patrick, let's do more on your PFF previews tomorrow. I'm going to look up South Carolina specifically, but how are they doing it?
What do you mean?
Have they released it on everybody in college football?
It's a 604 page.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
It's laid out for every game.
The preview of the entire college football season was not as long as the Will Muschamp playbook.
Correct. Not even close. That's just defense.
Sure.
Defensive playbook.
Can you translate the Spencer text for me? I don't understand what it means.
That's it.
Can you tell Patrick to stop drinking a Slurpee before he comes into the show?
Yeah, don't know.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, you got to get Patrick where you understand that other people are just trying too hard sometimes, and it's just not going to always work.
Well, what is the I just don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to accept that you'll never understand how some people think or how they react to you.
I'm making a slurping noise? I don't know. I don't drink Slurpees. I get brain freezes too easily. They melt too
That
quick.
website I was telling you about, that Dreamfield?
Yeah, I looked at the website once I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Rusty Manziel's got a picture of him. I don't know where he played at. And it's a college picture, and he's got his mustache. And he said, wishing we had the NIL back in 1990. I would have been rolling from my Dakar and Prel, kept the mustache soft deals. Front Office Sports. Yep. Haley and Hannah Cavendier, twin basketball players at Fresno State, have signed Boost Mobile and 6-Star Nutrition. They'll hold media appearances on Thursday, including a live outing on Times Square.
It is funny. Everyone's like, this is just going to help the big schools, as Bill's talking about girls from Fresno State. Like,
women's basketball, everybody knows they always get the best.
Yeah.
Always dominating. The rich get richer.
Well, Trey, all he did was sign the deal today.
Yeah, but it was quick. You got to think it was negotiated.
Yeah,
Oh, of
but,
course it was ready to go.
but I mean,
Nothing illegal.
yeah.
He wasn't getting paid.
I guess you can't talk about it as long as you
There's
don't
nothing
actually.
illegal about talking about a deal.
It's true. Good point.
What a day. July 1st, 2020. Mississippi State champions for the first time in 134 years of playing team sports in the College World Series with a 9-0 one-hit shutout last night against Vanderbilt.
Athletes are able to cash in on their name, image, and likeness for the first time. We've got an honored guest on the Love Chevy phone lines joining us now, and Darlington Raceway president, longtime USC Sports Information Director, Kerry Tharp. Kerry, can you imagine working with college athletes back in your day with this name, image, likeness stuff hanging in the balance?
Oh, my gosh. Boy, I really can't. Times have changed, certainly, since my days at Carolina. I was there from 85 to 2005, and certainly there have been some athletes that could have capitalized on that and made some good money. But, hopefully they're going to regulate it the right way and not let it get out of control. I don't know all of the ins and outs and what the regulations are going to be, but, I've always kind of thought that, athletes maybe need to get a little piece of this. And so maybe this is an opportunity for them to do that. I know when I was at Carolina, a guy like Sterling Sharp, Todd Ellis, people like that, B.J. Mackey, they signed a lot of autographs for people and had a lot of pictures and, had their likeness all over the place, particularly around Columbia. So, hopefully the NCAA is going to police this the right way and make it where it's a win-win.
We had one listener hit us up earlier and say now all the post-game interviews are going to be like NASCAR interviews where they're mentioning all their sponsors. I doubt it'll go that way. But tell us about the latest where you guys are in your picks contest. Jen earning the most points last week with her pick of Larson, who ended up finishing second over in Pocono in the double race there. Kerry, as I see the standings right now, you still barely have a lead over Jen in second place, but you guys distantly behind Bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're definitely behind Bill, but maybe there's a silver lining. You look back last weekend at Pocono, the doubleheader. I think Bill had Larson on Saturday and Hamlin on Sunday. Well, Larson blows a tire on the last lap to not get that victory, and then Hamlin runs out of gas on the last lap.
Tides are turning, my friend.
So maybe there's a silver lining in all of this.
Love it.
That, we've still got plenty of racing left to go.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got, 6 or 7 races before we come to Darlington. Then you got 10 races in the playoffs. So, in the words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend.
Exactly.
And counting this is a victory for Bill. And so we'll see what happens as we continue the season.
And like we talked about on the phone, like Bill, kind of give us a quick overview of Road America.
What?
Take us around Road America, Bill.
I'm going to ignore that, and I'm just going to go. I'm glad we used Lee Corso. I'm going to use Ricky Bobby. If you aren't first, you're last.
Not bad. Moving up.
What a clown.
Moving up to Wisconsin this weekend. Let's go ahead and get our picks in so we know where to go. Kerry, you're our honored guest. You get to go first.
Well, I'm going out on a limb here. The Cup teams have not raced at Road America since the late 50s, and none of these guys that are racing now were even born then. So, but the Xfinity Series has been out there several times. So I'm going to bank on that. I'm going to go with Christopher Bell, who has a pretty good track record out there. In fact, I think he's won once at Road America when he was in the Xfinity Series. So, you guys might scoff at this, that I picked Christopher Bell, but, I did some research. I'm trying to be strategic, and so I go with Christopher Bell to win on Sunday.
That's a good call. That was my first pick.
All right, Jen, you got to go
Same
to your
strategy.
You got to go to your backup pick. Who you got?
You know what? I'm going to say Elliott. He's strong on road courses.
Chase Elliott is Jen's pick. Now Bill is scrambling, looking at a screen feverishly, trying to figure out who he's going to choose.
45.
He said that go with the guy who's been hot. He's got a 4-race streak of top 5s on road courses, 6 straight top 10s on road courses. Go with a proven guy. Give me Joey Logano.
All right.
Okay.
There you go. Bell, Elliott, and Logano, the picks. We'll follow Jen Jensen Morse very carefully to see who Reggie Anderson goes with as the fourth member of our picks contest and is different in a distant fourth place. Kerry, as always, appreciate your time at @Kerry_Tharp, where you can follow Kerry on Twitter. Have a great weekend, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Man, you could just hear it in Kerry's voice. Oh, what a mess it would have been back in his SID days for the name, image, likeness. Fun show. Thanks for listening.
FM Eastover, Columbia. Full coverage right here. 107.5.
Yeah, I had told Carrie all of that.
All right, guys.
Tides are changing, my friend.
That'll do it on the live stream. Thank you guys for checking us out here. PFF, that is. Yes. Thank you, Anthony. Attaboy, Trey. Thanks for tuning in from Texas, sir. Hope Austin is treating you well. Have a good time, man. DC, we hear you. Our afternoon guys are taking off tomorrow. We're going to work in the morning. But so we'll talk to most of you then, or see most of you then, and then we'll be off on Monday. Hope you do as well. Any last words, ladies and gentlemen?
Bill's a punk.
Nice.